जाओ भाई ज्वाइन करो। So, can you I'll request all participants to mute themselves and check your mute status. It is muted. Please ensure it is muted. It will make it more convenient for us. Dr. Hemant, Dr. Sandeep Sir, Dr. Amit Gupta, please mute yourself. Dr. Deepak Saxena sir. So Yash is telling us that he is able to join session automatically. Sanjay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now you can make me host. We have enough participants, 14 number. We can start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
जल्दी बता।
पेट में दर्द हो रहा है।
There is some Zoom user. I request you to kindly mute yourself.
सर मैं वही देखने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, बट इसमें मुझे कहीं भी ऑप्शन नहीं दिख रहा है।
म्यूट आपको म्यूट कर देता हूँ ना, कोई बात नहीं, चलिए।
Okay, sir. I have made you host, so we will start now.
Yes, please. Would you like to say something, or I go ahead with the presentation?
Yes, sir. Please, please start. So,
Okay. So have you started the recording?
yes, sir. It is being live streamed on YouTube.
So first of all, a very good evening to everyone. And I welcome you all to this event, series of event of Jabalpur Surgeons Association. And this time we will deviate from the scientific focus. As doctors, it is always lightning to discuss about other things. So today's topic is about financial literacy and financial planning. Three of us will be speakers in this presentation. And we are no expert, but we do have some experience. We have learned doing mistakes, and we have learned from our own experiences. So these experiences we are going to share with you. And the basic motive behind this presentation is to make you aware about learning financial planning and become financially literate. स्लाइड मूव नहीं कर रही, एक मिनट। स्लाइड क्यों अब मूव नहीं कर रही भाई? भी तो चेक कर लिया था सब अपन ने यार, फिर क्यों नहीं मूव कर रही?
हेडफोन है क्या? रोजर
Is there with this some technical issue? So can you see? Can you all see my slides?
Yes, sir. Slides are visible.
Now they are moving. Fine. So what is financial literacy? So it is basically the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting and investing. Budgeting means how you spend and how you invest and save the money. Nancy, please mute yourself. So this is a very short survey done on a select group of people by RBI, Reserve Bank of India, in Northeast, which showed that nearly 32% of people are unaware about financial products other than savings account. So all of us must be having saving account in which our income or salary and everything comes. But nearly 32% of us are not aware about the various financial other instruments available. So this is just an example, but I'm very, very sure that there must be figure must be a lot more than this. And this was proven by a study which was conducted by us. Again, the slide is not moving. I'm very sorry for that. I don't know why it is. Yes. So now there are various terminologies associated with finance, and most of us, like whenever we come across these terminologies, we at times, because of lack of knowledge, we are helpless, and we go to our chartered accountant who basically take care of your taxation things, but has little interest in investment thing, that is financial planning. So he takes care of the tax things, but financial planning things needs a financial planner. So most of us, we don't have a financial planner like we have a chartered accountant or a family doctor taking care of us. So we did a survey in 2021, and this was amongst Indian postgraduate residents, including MD/MS students, MCH/DM students, and it was more than 200 students participated in this study. And not to our surprise, there were so many findings in this study, and that included 46% of people were not aware about the compound interest. All of us studied the compound interest in our mathematics classes between 8th standard to 10th standard. 62% were not aware about stocks, and 72% were aware about mutual funds. About 30% were aware about the student loan, but 70% weren't aware about student loan. Similarly, with the doctor's loan, 61% of participants were unaware about life insurance. About 60% were unaware about tax planning. And if you ask this question, that how will you rate your financial literacy as compared to your non-medico friends, then most of the candidates, they sounded like very poor in understanding about finances. Another observation which we came across is like 55% of participants were not having life insurance. 88%, a very big number, were not having professional indemnity insurance with them. 67% of students were not filing their tax return. See, the age group of this particular cohort of participants have been like around 35 years. So till 35 years, they were not filing their tax return, and they were not planning their budget for the month. 16% were having student loans, which this number is gradually increasing in India. Usually we have a tendency like our parents sponsor our studies, but now this number is increasing. 14% had some sort of mortgage, and many people were not paying their credit card bills timely, and they had to pay higher interest. So one question was asked that how satisfied they are with their current financial condition. But contradictory to the findings which we observed in the study, 33% were satisfied with their financial condition, current financial condition. But 70% were either never thought of it or not satisfied. Further, this is the last portion of the survey which showed us that one question which was asked was, do you have a plan in place to borrow money for owning a private hospital in future? So they never thought of that, like 70% never thought of that. Do they have a future financial plan in place? 65% were not having so. Did they think that they will be able to sustain their family lifestyle immediately after training? About 60% did not agree with that. So most of the conclusion of this study was that there was lack of the financial literacy amongst postgraduates as it was there with us when we were postgraduates. So this is an important topic which needs some discussion and exchanges amongst ourselves. That is the motive of this particular webinar. So there are three particular terminologies related with finances. One is financial education. Education means a process of teaching. So, or sharing knowledge with each other, learning from friends, learning from experts, learning from YouTube or social media. And that is the process which we are following today. As you get educated, you become financially literate. Financially literate means a level of knowledge about financial concepts and principles so that you go ahead with the application of that knowledge. And third is the capability. That is, once you start applying, develop your portfolio, that is financial capability. So it's a continuous process. First step is definitely education. One very favorite slide of mine is this. Like, we have a lot of money with us, and most of us don't realize that a 100 rupee note today will become a 93 rupee note after 1 year, because there is 7 to 8% inflation, which is resulting into devaluation of that money. Suppose that money is lying in the form of cash in your cupboard. After 1 year, that 100 rupee will become 93 rupees. 1,000 rupee will become 930 rupees. 1,00,000 rupee will become 93,000 rupees, and so on. So how much money you are losing, you should realize here. Again, hang, not moving. I'm sorry for this disturbance. It's not under my control. I will prefer to run without slideshow now. So this is the importance why you should be able to take care of money. So like your health needs to be taken care of, your body needs to be taken care of, your personality or your education or your growth, academic growth needs to be properly taken care of. Similarly, your money needs to be taken care of. So now coming to the question, what is dying money? So this is the dying money. Like, cash is the worst dying money. Like, if you have a lot of cash which is lying in your cupboard, it is dying. Every year it is vanishing. You prefer to invest that in real estate, gold, and etc. I won't go into that area because today we are talking about mutual fund and stocks. Now, second, coming to the most deadly dying money is this money lying in the saving bank account. Now, all of you go back and see your bank accounts. Like, few people must be having like 2 lakhs in their bank account, 5 lakhs or 20 lakhs. I've seen many friends of mine who have like 1.5 crore lying in the saving bank. I will tell you why it is a dying money. Now, coming to the next dying money, that is the life insurance policy. Now, many people may object to this statement, but I'm not talking about term insurance, which provides you death cover without any return. That is called as term insurance. You don't get any money back. You just give minimum amount, your death is covered for like maybe 50 lakhs, 1 crore or 2 crores. I'm telling about life insurance policy where you get money back after maturity. But that is a dying money because it provides very less. I will come to that slide later on. Similarly, certain times like we move into this type of investments, but just influenced by the agents. So these agents may be our friends or colleagues or someone who don't give proper information about those funds, and we do bad investments. I've also gone through that in my previous years of life. And that is something like bad investment result into death of the money. And investing without diversification, my colleagues who is going to elaborate, they are going to elaborate on this particular topic later on in their presentation. Now, the idea, one of my colleagues yesterday only asked that, sir, abhi paise to kama le, फिर invest करेंगे. So actually, ये जो financial planning is all about earning money from money. So there is no day will come when you will think that I'm rich and I want a lot of money. Now we should invest. By the time you are very late. So what we need to learn is earning money from money without doing anything. Just having some knowledge and applying that knowledge will let you earn money from money. So now coming to a few important terminologies, once we understand these terminologies, then it becomes easier for us to embark upon financial investments. So first is interest. We all know what is interest. Now the biggest problem with the interest, like money lying in the saving account, why I said money lying, 1 lakh rupees lying in the saving account is a dying money, because you get interest not more than 4%, first thing, per annum. Second, out of that 4% interest, you have to give 30% tax. Especially doctors at the age of 40, they fall into this tax slab. By that time they are 40 years, they fall into this tax slab. So out of that 4% per annum, 30% is given as tax. So what have you saved? Hardly 2.5% per annum. So that is a dying money, because what we expected, money, a growing money is something more than inflation. So inflation is 7%. So growth of the money should be at least 7%. Above 7%, then you are in profit. Otherwise, you are just beating the inflation. Second, coming to very common way of investment, that is FD, fixed deposit. Although fixed deposit is taxable after a certain extent, there is a limit per year. This is for PPF. For FD is taxable. The interest you earn in the FD is taxable. So it is a dying money. Okay, because the interest what you earn in FD is not more than 6-7% per annum. So it is a dying money, because out of 6-7% you are going to pay 30% tax. So again, it is less than 7% of inflation. One good investment scheme is PPF. PPF, but it is tax-free to a certain limit per year. So you can't put like lakhs of money in PPF and get the advantage. So you should put money in PPF for a minimum limit, and after that you have to do something else. Now coming to second terminology, what is growth? So one part of growth was interest. Other part of the growth is capital gain. So there are two types of capital gain. One is called as short-term capital gain, another is long-term capital gain. This is divided into two things based on taxation laws. Like if you are investing in some instrument like a debt fund. So for 3 years, before 3 years, if you withdraw that money, that becomes a short-term capital gain. For equity funds, it is 1 year. So these details will be covered by my colleague. But short-term capital gain is taxable at the rate of 20% tax. Long-term capital gain is taxable at the rate of only 10% tax. So you compare interest with long-term capital gain. Suppose you don't redeem your fund, withdraw your fund before its maturity, then you are paying only 10% tax here. Here you are paying 30% tax. So redemption after 1 year, if you do, then it is like 10% tax. Now coming to another concept, that is goals. So now when we are working, we are healthy, we are having everything with us, we don't think about future much. And most of our Indian families run on parental properties. But now the time is moving, the more concept of single family is coming. So we have to plan our life according to our own needs. So one concept is retirement planning. So retirement planning can be of two types. Basic retirement planning, that you don't want comfort or luxury. You just want to live life the way you are living today. Second challenge which is coming up nowadays is education of children. Because now children are ambitious. They want to do better than you. So they want opportunities during their teenage and then during their college life. And you have to be prepared for that. Third and the most important is the life and the health cover. Fourth is, for doctors, it is very important, that is professional indemnity cover. Like if some patient sues you, then you should be covered with a good professional indemnity policy, so that you don't have tension of paying to that person or fighting the case against him. So everything is done by professional indemnity company. Then coming to higher education, because the basic undergraduate education, most of our doctors, they either they make their children like doctors, or they become engineers, or they go to some good professional colleges. So they need money for their education. So higher education is also there. Then obviously for children, wedding. And finally, you want to save some money so that you can transfer that asset to them for their future. Now coming to this one very good concept, that is compound interest, which we studied in our school days. It is applicable for financial planning. So what is compound interest? In simple terms, it is just interest, earning interest from interest. So like for example, in 1 year, you have invested 100 rupees and you have earned like 10 rupees as interest or as growth or as capital gain. So it becomes 110 rupees at the end of 1 year. From next year onward, suppose you keep investing, so that money will be added to this 110 rupees. And what you earn as growth from that fund will be from the 110 rupees. So what now you have started doing after 1 year is you are earning from the interest. You are earning from the money also, what you have invested money, and also from the interest. So that is the basic philosophy of investing and keeping money there unless you need it. Now, this is a very good comparison table. Most of it I have already told. Like in savings account, interest rate today is 2.7%. Most of the banks. I saw it for SBI today, and it is 2.7%. For fixed deposit, highest interest is 7% per annum. And both of these are taxable as per tax laws up to 30% if your slab is 30%. Most of us like salaried for 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh, they fall into slab of 30%. This has a lock-in period, but FD is a good investment, but not for huge amount of money. PPF is a good way of investment, as I said before, but to a certain limit. It has good return, like in the form of 7% because it is matching the inflation and it is tax-free. Now coming to LIC or insurance, I'm not talking about term insurance. The return is only less than 4%. Although it is tax-free, but it is just 4%. Your return is 4%. Inflation every year is just is 7%. So it is not beating the inflation only. So there is no actual growth of money. So rather than going for life cover through life insurance, it is better to take term insurance and forget about that and invest your money in better funds which have higher returns, like mutual fund. 6 to 20% returns are there depending on the various types of funds. Stock 10 to 22%, or sovereign gold bond. It is a good fund, government fund, in which you get 2.5% growth plus appreciation of the gold is added. Like growth, the cost of gold is increasing, that is added. This is tax-free, but it has a lock-in period. Now, the last way of investment is real estate. I won't go into that. So inflation of 7% per annum should be considered while investing, and growth is real only if post-tax growth is post-tax growth. I'm not talking about only growth. After you earn money from that invested money, you have to pay tax. After paying tax, how much you get should be more than 7%. So now there is one rule of 72, which is 72%, 72 divided by interest rate is equal to years to double money. If you look back, like in our days when we were kids, FD used to, after 5 years, become double. But now it doesn't happen like that. For something like FD, the doubling is like 12%, something which is 12% return. Then it doubles in 6 years. Like FD is 6-7%. So it will almost take 12 years. If you deduct the tax, it will be like 15 years or so to double your money. So not a good way of investment. So saving account and FD, they fall into these categories. So that is why they are dying money. Now coming to the another aspect, that is when to begin saving. This is one very good example. One is Mr. Early, who started at 30 years of age. There is Mr. Later like me, who started at 40 years of age. And there's Mr. Late like many here who have not started yet. So you invest like 5,000 every month, monthly saving at this age, respective ages. Total invested amount remains same, that is 6 lakh for each of them. And finally, you see at the retirement age of 60, what money Mr. Early has earned? It is 55 lakh rupees. What money Mr. Later has earned? It is 18 lakh rupees. And what Mr. Late has earned is 8 lakh rupees only. So that is why it is very important to begin early, and nothing is late. Like if I started at 40, that was not late for me. Today I have a better situation. Suppose I would not have invested, I would not have been at that position. Now, how to save money for saving? So basically you get salary or stipend. For postgraduates, you get stipend. I see postgraduates spending whole of their stipend. They never save. So that is a very bad habit. They should learn to save money from today. Then you get from private practice, you get interest from savings, you get long-term capital gain while you are investing, you earn from them, then redeem them, and then reinvest them to save. Like there is one good tax exemption in our country. That is one leg of long-term capital gain is not taxable per year. So you can redeem some of the money and then again put it back, and you should divert from bad investments. हो गया गलत डाल दिया ये नहीं कि उसको जिंदगी भर डालते जाए, उसको हम रोक दें. And last but not the least is the smart spending, which a new generation is like nowadays adopting. They are not making their house, they are renting the house. They are not owning the car, they are using Ola or public transport. I won't go into that. Now, why so? So this is a very old concept of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. क्योंकि पहली हमारी जरूरत होती रोटी कपड़ा मकान. After that you come to your safety. Then you come to your love, belonging, बच्चे हैं, बीवी है. Then you come to your like developing the self-esteem, more power, more control, and then self-actualization where you start giving money to others. So if you apply that Maslow's theory in financial planning, which is very often applied by financial experts, so there are 4 phases of the planning. One is defensive planning, where you protect yourself. Second is offensive planning, where you start purchasing things. And third is aggressive planning, where you prioritize your goals. You make goals and work for them. And last is the progressive planning, where you develop real estate or you develop your assets, you develop your succession, and then start doing philanthropy, जैसे charity करने लग जाते हैं. So on this basis, this concept of Maslow theory, and based on our research, we made this pyramid of financial planning for doctors. So based on this, the basic need first is get a good job, subspecialty training after your MCH, develop your skills. Then the next step you should go for is term insurance, because that is the most important thing. If suppose some unfortunate thing happened, then your family is not left without anything. So they have money to take care of them. So term insurance is important, then health insurance is important, and professional indemnity insurance is important. This comes before your house, before your car. आजकल मैंने देखा है कि PGs, they buy car first, but they don't have any insurance. So it is not right. So then comes car, home. Then comes car, home, equipments, then CME expenses, fellowship expenses goes on to go abroad for training, and then plan for retirement and children education. Then retirement comfort, and then last comes the charity, legacy, gift, etc. Now there is one very good example before I complete. This is a person with 40 years age, and suppose retirement age is 60 years, although doctors don't retire at 60 years. Just I have taken an example. And there is life expectancy of 75 years. And monthly expense, for example, is 50,000. And expected return, now this is one scenario where return is 4%, like your saving bank policy, which many of us follow. And return is where the return is not more than like 4% or 3%. I have just taken 4%. And expense factor, that is आज की जितनी income, आज की जितना हमारा expense है उतना उसका कितना % retirement के बाद हमको लगेगा. For example, today we are spending 50,000. After retirement, it will be like 75% of that because we will need medicines and all those things. So here, if you see, you have to invest 58,000 every month to get accumulate a retirement corpus of 2 crores 13 lakhs or 14 lakhs. Now coming to the next example, जिसमें I've just changed the return of investment to 10%, which you usually get in mutual fund or safer stocks. Here you see, you just have to invest 30,000 per month to get the same corpus. So that is the huge difference it makes if you plan your investment properly. So what is the take-home message from my presentation? We should learn about taxation and investment. We should start investing. learn investing in mutual fund. That is the first goal of today's webinar, which will be taken care by Dr. Amit Gaur. Create our own goals, retirement goals, travel goals, kids goals, and etc. We should pay tax regularly, because for these type of investments, you cannot invest from cash. You have to have tax paid money in your bank account. So you should learn to pay tax, file your return at a very early age, and every year you increase the tax amount. Invest in liquid funds for emergency. ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि सेविंग पूरा खाली कर दोगे तो पैसा जरूरत पड़ेगी तो कहां से आएगा? There are certain type of funds in mutual fund where you can keep money as an emergency fund. Use term insurance for death cover and try stocks as you mature, because they are more rewarding. Thank you. Now, after this, I will hand over it to next speaker, Dr. Amit Gaur. Dr. Amit Gaur, are you there? Dr. Amit Gaur. Sanjay? While he joins,
Yes, sir. I think he has joined, sir.
so Amit, unmute yourself, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am unmuted, sir.
You can now ask to share the screen. I'll make you host, or Sanjay will make you host. Ask to share the screen. Amit, are you listening?
Sir, I am listening, sir.
Tell me what your problem. Yeah, you are host now. You can share your screen now.
Just a second, sir. I am trying to do that only, sir. Give me a second,
No problem.
because
All participants are requested. They have big questions in their mind. They can put in the chat box.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Shall we, sir, for term insurance,
Mhm.
what should we prefer, sir? 1 crore or 2 crore?
I think in today's era, it depends first upon your ability to pay the annual premium for that. Like at your age, you are 30 years of age. So at your age, I think you won't have to pay more than 18,000 for 1 crore rupee per month, per year. So that's not a big amount. Like it's a small amount. We spend more than this in our parties. So 1 crore is a reasonable amount. So you should go ahead with this. Begin with this and gradually you can increase it. For your liabilities. If you have more liabilities, you have kids, you have wife, dependent children, then you have to increase it.
sir, I think you have still not made me the host, sir.
You are host already. You ask share, you click the share screen.
Yeah, I have clicked, sir. Everything it is saying that I have just sent you a snapshot of what I am seeing.
संजय देखो जरा इसमें क्या हो रहा है.
Sir, actually, sir, you are only host. Maybe are you trying to share a screen from another device? Apart
नहीं,
from
मेरा अब मैं होस्ट नहीं हूँ, अमित होस्ट हैं. ऐसा मुझे हुआ आया था.
Yes, sir. I have made it. Okay. Shall I present, sir? You have shared the PPT with me.
Sir, you can present, sir, because
Yes.
thing is, I have just shared a screenshot of what I am able to see on,
Okay, then
in our.
I will share. Sorry for the delay, everyone.
So it is showing only host can share in the meeting, sir. If you can just
Okay,
check.
no problem.
I have sent it on the July meeting WhatsApp group, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So can I change it, sir, or will I have to request you only to change it, sir?
I will change. You
Okay,
will
okay,
not be
sir.
able to change it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good evening, myself. My name is Amit Gaur. I am a urologist by profession, and I would like to give my thoughts on what exactly are mutual funds. So, next slide, please. This is just a disclaimer, just to say that I am not a financial advisor. I am in this capital market since 2006, but I would ask everybody to take help from a fixed free financial advisors. They are CFPs. They are basically take a particular amount from you for a year, and they design your portfolio according to your goals. They are not agent based, so I would request everybody to not buy mutual funds from any particular advisor, and keep a track of your investments, and always involve your spouse in planning. This particular last 3-4 words very important. Please involve them, because something may go wrong with you. So they need to have some information regarding what exactly you have done. So next slide, please. So, sir,
I'll request all participants to kindly mute themselves. Thank you.
so what exactly are we going to go about in this presentation? What exactly is the mutual fund? What is the structure? Who controls the particular mutual fund? What is an AMC? How do they work? How are they classified? Then what exactly is a good portfolio? How do we understand what is risk, what is returns? Categorization. Then what exactly we need to do for practically investing into these particular mutual funds? And what are the different types? Growth, dividend, how to check returns, and particular there is a risk meter, which depends on what age group we are into, and accordingly on how much risk we can take. Next slide, please, sir. Basic concept of mutual fund is a trust that pools the saving of the number of investors who share a common financial goal, that is particular return over a period of time. The money thus collected is thus then invested in capital market like shares, debentures, other securities, equity, debt, both. Mutual funds have a fund manager who invests the money on behalf of the investors by buying, selling bonds, stocks, equities. So this is what is the basic concept. Now this is the framework of what an AMC does, how does it interacts with the investors. So sponsors and trustees, they are basically the people in charge. They set up an AMC which has got multiple mutual funds, and investors invest in this mutual fund. Then there are agents which get people into it. There are bankers, then there are accountants, registrars, transfer. So this is a basic concept on how money transfers from one pocket to another. Next slide, please, sir. So what exactly is an AMC? AMC, Asset Management Company. So it manages our asset. So according to SEBI, the Securities Exchange Board of India, there are some rules which AMCs have to strictly follow. Every fund has to have an investment manager. It is appointed by the trustees with SEBI's approval. They have a particular qualification, then only they can hold that post. Trustees and AMC enter into an investment management agreement. There should be a seed capital from the particular trustees. So they are also investing into their particular mutual fund. Should have a net worth of at least 50 crores at all times. This is the minimum to start with. At least 50% members of the board of an AMC are to be independent. Means they should not hold any particular office in any other AMC. They cannot be a member of any other fund. AMC cannot engage in any business other than financial advisory and investment management. This is the basic criteria for establishing an AMC. Anybody can do it, but they require particular criteria which are laid down by the SEBI. Next slide, sir. So this we have already discussed what the pool of investors, they pool their money, this invested into a pre-specified investment objective, like it is equity or it is debt, it is mid cap, large cap. Accordingly, they are divided. They can contribute to different pools. And this, as we are doing it mutually, it is known as a mutual fund. Next slide, sir. Now they are classified according to structure like open-ended. Open-ended means you can enter anytime, you can exit anytime, invest anytime, and take out your money anytime. Close-ended means they have a fixed time. The time you have to stay invested for at least 3 years, or there are different types of closed-ended funds. Then there are interval funds which have a fixed duration. Then based on investment objective, debt funds which invest in recurring deposits, FDs, debentures, stocks, and debt instruments. Basically, nowadays debt is basically considered as bonds. Then equity funds, they are large cap, mid cap, index funds, and small cap funds. Hybrid funds are those which have got a combination of equity as well as debt. There is a fixed percentage by SEBI that for hybrid you should have 60% of equity and 40% of debt. Based on investment style. Now, this is a different thing which has come up recently. Not recently, this was in US since long. Passive funds and active funds. Passive funds, we'll discuss it later on. These are a different type of fund. The active funds are actively managed. Passive fund just follow a particular index. We will discuss it later on. What are the advantages? Next slide, sir. Yeah, open-ended. As I said, there's no fixed maturity date. It accepts continuous sale and repurchase. Transactions are NAV based. Closed, they have run for a specific period. Offered are in the NFO, and then when the NFO closes, then you cannot invest into it. Interval funds are variants of closed-ended funds. They become open-ended at specific intervals. Means they invite investments at particular intervals. Depends on the fund manager. Next, sir. Now, this is based on the objective, like debt. Debt are basically debt instruments, equity in the equity market, equity securities, they involve large cap, mid cap, multi cap, small caps. Hybrid funds, they have a combination of debt and equity, as already said. So, next slide, sir. Coming to this. This is passive funds are what in which the Western countries usually invest. What exactly positive things of passive funds is they have a very less expense ratio. Now we have to give out some amount of our returns for management of this particular fund. So that is what the fund manager takes, and wholesale it is known as the expense ratio. So passive funds, what exactly they do is they replicate a particular market index. Like they follow Nifty, like Nifty 50. They follow the top 50 which are in the index. And in the same proportion, the investment is done. Like suppose 50 stocks are there in Nifty, and the amount they contribute to the Nifty, accordingly that amount will be invested according to that proportion. So there is no selection bias of the investment of the manager. Expenses are very low. So because you don't need a skilled team to manage the whole fund. Portfolio is modified every time index composition changes. Nifty top 50, Nifty next 50. So accordingly it changes. There is no fund manager, but the basic disadvantage of passive fund is it has a poor downside protection. Now, what exactly is downside protection? Downside protection, what happens is when the market falls. So see, market goes up slowly but falls very fast. So it has got a very poor downside protection. Means when everything falls, it falls according to the market. There is no manager who can control the fall. Means predict something, okay, this is about to fall, or there is no management in that. The other one is the active funds. They invest in securities sectors that may offer a better return than the index. So active funds are always compared with an alpha. Alpha is whatever returns they are giving above that particular index. To actively manage the allocation to market securities and cash, they perform better or worse than the market index. Suppose it's a mid-cap index. Active funds, if they have an alpha, it is over what the mid-cap index is giving. Suppose the mid-cap index is giving 6-7% or 10%. If that particular fund is giving 12%, so that 2% is credit goes to the manager. So that is an alpha of that particular fund. That is a different measurement. We can discuss it later on. It may perform better or worse than the market index, incurs a higher cost than passive funds because the whole cost is for the financial manager and has a fund manager, and they have a good downside protection. Next slide, sir. So this is just categorization. We can skip this slide because I have a long presentation, only 20 minutes. So categorization, they are divided into equity, and debt, hybrid, and solution oriented. This solution oriented are sectorial funds, like they are banking fund, or they are this FMCGs, or they are pharma fund. These are specifically sectorial funds. Next slide, sir. Now, how to invest? This is a big topic. We can have a separate discussion, because which is safe, which is not safe, what exactly we need to do. This is basically the practical aspect of all this. Why a physical mutual fund application form? Now, I'll take around 2 minutes on this slide. The first point, why a physical mutual fund? Now, suppose we don't believe in all this internet and all these gadgets. We want to do it हाथ लिख के साइन करके भैया हम तो हाथ कागज देंगे. You go to a particular CAMS office, take a particular mutual fund, whichever you have chosen, to take an application form, fill up the KYC, fill up for mandate, and you give them, okay, I will want an SIP of 5,000 rupees per month. This I used to do when I started in 2006. So that time all these digital platforms were not here. So then they give you a particular physical receipt. You can keep it with you and just go after a month or two and take a particular statement. So everything is physical. There is nothing online in this. Second is via the mutual fund website. This is another very safe and foolproof method, because you are directly contacting the AMC website. AMC website like HDFC Mutual Fund, HDFC MF, you go, you just log in. There is a login only on PAN based. If you are already an investor, it can be an OTP based. If you are already KYC has been done, then you can directly have an account in that. So you can directly get into, take a statement, make more investment, redeem, anything you can do. This is also a very safe method and a very fast method, because even physical mutual fund application, you may go to an HDFC office. You may not go to a CAMS office or a Kotak or a MFU office. But CAMS also forwards it to the HDFC mutual fund office. So online mode is very fast and trusted mode. By a mobile app or mutual fund, yes, you have mobile apps of many. Parag Parikh is there, HDFC is there, Kotak is there, Aditya Birla. That is also a very user-friendly platform. But you need to have a mandate and an eKYC before getting into the mobile app. Then AMC, like there are Association of Mutual Fund India registered mutual fund distributors like CAMS you have, then you have MFU, then you have GROW. There are many which provide direct funds access, and they charge minimal fees. Even Zerodha has got its whole small case. So they give you a good amount of, sorry, not small case, coin. Small case is stocks. Coin is for mutual funds. So this is how you can invest. We can discuss it later on if there is any doubts, because this is a wide topic, which particular agency gives which access, what access to which funds. Next slide, sir. Yes.
Just a small interruption. Just to highlight about direct and regular fund.
Sir, I am coming to that. That is regular.
Okay.
I am coming to that, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This slide, it is about 35 slides, sir. I may exceed my time by 5-10 minutes, sir. Please excuse me. Now, KYC registration is mandatory for any agency. KYC registration is centralized through it. It has to be done. If you don't have any particular physical way to do it, you can do it even with a video call. It is these facilities are there at AMC. Each investor has to undergo at least once. If you undergo with it in any particular AMC in Kotak, so it is broad based. So even for HDFC, you don't need to go undergo again. So everywhere it is distributed. Mandate is the authority. Like when you put an application in a particular mutual fund office, that you debit 5,000 rupees from my account. Then you also have to give a mandate to the bank. When you give a physical application, you sign a mandate there only. You give a cancelled check, so they know that where exactly is your bank account, and you fill a mandate which gives the authority to the bank to debit that particular amount from your particular account on that particular date, and then that is invested into the mutual fund. So every mutual fund, even for online, you go to the app or you go to CAMS, you have to then again back you have to go to your bank website and you have to put in the mandate number. So then it allows you. Sir, I will answer the question later on, sir. Now coming to the next investment procedure is whether you are a first time investor, existing investor, you have to write all this in your application online or offline. Then official website you visit, provide details like name, address, a cancel check. Cancel check is a must even for online, because they will need your IFSC code, the bank account, the bank details, because even when you call them up later on, these all details are used as a security. They will ask you what are your last 4-digit number, 4 digits of your account number. So these are all security parameters which you have to clear to get access to your particular mutual fund portfolio or your particular account statement. Once our documents are accepted by mutual fund company, you may start making investments. Next slide, sir. These are the two different types of investment modes: lump sum, one-time investment, large amounts of money is invested in one go. They face like you get a good amount of money from one place rather than keeping in the bank account. You feel that the market is broken down, like what happened in COVID. You can directly invest at one go. This is a way which many people offers when follow when they get particular bonus. They just make a one-time investment, and market has to go up. There is no doubt. So if you are willing to stay in the market for say 5-10 years and you get a good amount of lump sum, you should not fear lump sum investment. People directly, they fear lump sum investment. Systematic, this is what everybody follows. This is a staggered investment, period of commitment, 6 months, 1, 3, 5, whatever. And you can choose nowadays, first of all, first you used to get only these dates, 1/5, and now you can choose any date of whenever you feel like you have money in your account. Next slide, sir. Yes, now this is a very important slide. Investment modes in mutual fund. Now there are, from 2013, SEBI got something what is known as a direct mutual fund. Now what used to happen, I don't know whether you guys remember, previously there was something known as Reliance Mutual Fund. Majority people invested in that, and now its NAV is more than 1,000. So that was a fund which was, majority people had investment in regular mutual funds. Now what happens in regular mutual funds? Regular mutual funds, a particular agent comes to you, tells you, sir, ये particular fund बहुत अच्छा है, आप इसमें पैसा डालिए, 5,000 रुपए डालिए, 2,000 रुपए डालिए. Then you will see when he fills up that form, there is an ARN number on top. He will write his ARN number on top. So what will happen is this particular regular fund will be registered under his account. So he will be getting commissions out of it. There are two types of commissions. One is an upfront commission, means as soon as you invest a particular amount in the SIP every month, so he will get an upfront commission. That is known as an upfront commission. And the amount of corpus you have created, suppose you stop investing, but you are still in regular mutual funds. Even then, there will be something known as a trail commission. So the trail commission is what he gets even when you stop investing. So this is what happens in regular mutual funds. So people were very annoyed when I do all my homework. Why should I go in for regular mutual fund? I can just walk down the CAMS office and get an application and fill it myself. Why do I need somebody to write his ARN number? I would like to go for something on a direct mutual fund. So 2013, SEBI got direct mutual fund. They are directly offered by fund house. There is no involvement of third party, no commission, have low expense ratio, have high NAV as compared to regular. Return is higher due to lower expense ratio. Now, whenever you compare the expense ratio of any mutual fund, direct or regular, you will find at least a difference of 1%. So if you continue this for at least 15 years, I am just talking about the upfront commission, you are losing 15%. Forget about the trail commission. If I show you a particular mutual fund of a commission statement, I have some commission statements of these mutual fund agents. You will be surprised how much capital they are eroding from your account for just a job. What they have done is just submitting the form. So avoid going into regular mutual funds, do some homework and go into direct mutual funds. Even if you are sitting in regular mutual funds, please take some trouble and switch. See, switch is redemption and reinvestment. So switch from regular to direct. You may lose some, same mutual funds has got two parts. NAV you will get particular NAV may be higher in direct, so you may think that you may get less number of units, but always in the long term, you will benefit by at least 10 to 15%, more than that, if you shift from regular to direct. I'll give you an example. Sir, next slide, sir. Okay, this is particular fund of HDFC Equity. It was a very good fund long time back. Now, when you just compare the expense ratio in direct is 0.65%, while in regular is 0.74. So this is for one particular year. Now, when we compare it for like you 10, 15 years, so you will lose 10-15% over the whole corpus. This is about upfront commission. Trail commission is separate, which you are giving from your corpus, which you have already collected. So direct option saves around 1% of cost every year. It is a huge impact in the long term. Sir, I'm not following time. I don't know how much time I have taken. Next slide, sir. Okay. Now, coming to this growth and dividend. Growth gains made in the portfolio are retained and reflected in NAV. Realized profit and loss is treated as capital gains. Now, if our age is increasing, like we are less than 60, we should always go for growth. Growth option is a must. Dividend, what happens is they declare some amount of profits out of dividend and they are paid out in dividend payout option. Means you will get the NAV will decrease and you will get an amount in your bank account. Then that is dividend payout. That is out of the profit. So when they declare dividend, you will get the dividend and the NAV will fall. So this is what has happened with dividend payout. While in reinvestment option, that particular amount is reinvested to buy additional units. So you won't get any money to your account in reinvestment option. Next slide, sir. How exactly can we follow mutual funds? What information we need? There is a statement of additional information which tells us the details about what exactly, when was this fund made, who are the fund managers, what is their basic background, what exactly are they investing in. So out of these, the scheme information document, the second part is very important. What happens is which particular stocks they are investing in, asset allocation. This is very important. Now, if it is a large cap fund and it is investing basically in the blue chip stocks, so they should have a list of blue chips and the percentage investment. One more very important point to follow in scheme information is how much cash they have, cash in hand. So that is a very good cushion for them to deploy if the market falls. So cash in hand is very important, that you will find in scheme information documents. This is what is written as terms with regard to liquidity. Liquidity is what exactly is the capital, fluid capital they have in thing. Fees and expenses are also mentioned in the scheme information document. Next slide, sir. This is these basically the risks of different mutual funds. Equity and asset classes have high risk. Debt have low risk. Hybrid have a moderate risk. Then there is something known as arbitrage, which gives good returns as compared to debt, but is less risky as compared to equity. That we can discuss separately. So you decide what exactly is your risk, and accordingly, risk means how long can you stay invested, and how will you react if you lose 50% of your capital. So just these 2 points we need to discuss. We need to decide about our risk. These 2 points will help you decide what exactly is the risk. Sir, Vikesh sir, I'm not seeing the chat because there are many things.
I am looking after chat. Don't worry.
Okay. Now, why exactly should we invest? Vikesh sir also has mentioned this. Inflation eats our money. Value of money is always falling. What we can buy today in 13,000 after 25 years, we will need around 1 lakh to buy the same, considering inflation of 7%. So if you spend 50,000 per month today, you will need at least 4 lakh for the same lifestyle, with added expense for healthcare due to age. This is very important because whatever return we get, see, how do we calculate return? You have to calculate return is, remember always one line, post-taxation returns should be able to beat inflation. Always return should be post-taxation. Suppose you are in an FD, okay, you are getting around 5 to 6%. Post-taxation, you will be taxed according to your tax slab. So post-taxation of 30%, what are the returns you are getting in any investment? Forget FD. Post-taxation returns, what returns you are getting, whether they are able to beat inflation or not. That is why we need to invest. Next slide, sir. So considering inflation to stay at 4 to 7%, anything that gives less than 7% returns post-taxation will lead to wealth erosion. This is very important. So just consider what exactly instruments of investment are you choosing. Next slide, sir. So you need to understand your risk-taking capacity. I have already mentioned this. Don't just see, risk management is very important. Very important. When you are reaching your goals, you have to be very active in risk management to shift from more risky instruments like equity to debt. So just don't chase returns, understand risk. What is your reaction if your money falls by 50% in few days? This is what happened in Corona. I know many of my colleagues, smart colleagues from Gujarat, who are very pro in equity market. They have got rid of more than 50-60% of their portfolio in COVID. And now they are in big losses. If they would have stayed, they would be in handsome profits currently. Next slide, sir. So make a timeline of goals. Now, this is very important. Goals means you are planning some vacation, you are planning a big car, your children's education, their marriage, your retirement. These are different goals. So whenever you consider a CFP, Certified Financial Planner, they are known as the CFP. They will ask you your goals. How old are your children? What exactly, when do you plan to retire? Accordingly, they will make your goals. Sorry, you will make your goals and give it to them. Then they will make a portfolio for you. That for every goal, you need a particular fund for each goal, and then you track them. Will you be able to reach that particular point when your goal approaches? Will you be having sufficient capital? Suppose you want to send your kids outside. So you need to have an idea. There are many different online calculators which will tell you what exactly you need to do this particular goal, to achieve this particular goal. So accordingly, you can follow. So every fund should be assigned for a particular goal. Next slide, sir. To sum up, why are you investing? We have to set goals, time frame for each goal, select your funds, know your risk profile, rebalance funds as per risk-taking behavior by mixing equity and debt. Every year, at least, give a review of your mutual fund portfolio. And don't exit any particular fund for non-performance of just 1 year. Give it a 2-3 years, or just speak to your mutual fund financial planner, the certified financial planner. That said, this particular fund is not performing, and I think that we need to have a look at that. So you are paying a fees to him, and he will set your whole finances correct. He will set your health insurance, your term insurance, your mutual fund portfolio. They will not tell you about stocks, but they will set your finances right. Just last 100 minus age. That is the percentage of investment in equity. So if your age is less, that 100 minus, suppose you are 30. So 70% investment should be in your equity. Next slide, sir. Make realistic goals. When you set a goal and fix the amount, always keep a realistic expectation of returns. Keeping expected returns around 9 to 10 per 12%, adding 20% more than required, and keeping a window. 20% means ideally you should increase your investment amount at least 10 to 20% every year. Online calculator will help in finding how much money you will need to invest to get your desired goals. Next. So in short, choose a fund as per your goal risk, which should ideally be the fund name followed by direct growth option. This is very important because please see the name what exactly is mentioned in your mutual fund statement. It should be fund name, followed by direct, followed by growth option. For example, Axis Focus 25 direct growth. Next slide, sir. So ideally keep number of funds to just 5 to 6. Larger number of funds will make it very difficult to follow up. Keep track of changes in policy, fund manager, review every 6 to 12 months. Don't watch every day like a trader. Remember, we are investors with aim of long-term wealth creation. Consider switching of fund if fund is consistently underperforming its benchmark and peers over 2 years. Benchmark is that index to which the fund relates to, like the alpha I mentioned in the beginning. Next slide, sir. Taxation, I think Vikesh sir has already mentioned, I missed those slides of his. Equity mutual funds are taxed according to LTCG, 10% of profit over and above 1 lakh in one financial year against one PAN. Debt mutual funds were previously taxed according to less than 3 years, more than 3 years according to your tax bracket. Now tax mutual funds are, debt mutual funds are taxed according to your tax bracket, so they don't give you much of gains. So that is what is the issues with debt mutual funds. Next slide, sir. So ideal portfolio, equity component, large cap, index funds, multi-cap, yes, international equity exposure. This is very important. See, we need exposure to many things internationally. Like we buy so many things from outside, we love those things. My point here is you need to invest in international, not only in NASDAQ. There are many investment modules like Sarva is there, in which you can, there is something known as REIT. That is the real estate investment trust. You can invest in REIT of Singapore market. There are many places where you can invest. So international equity exposure is a must in your portfolio. And now it should be at least 10 to 15%. Mid-cap funds, they are presently giving very good returns. Even small caps are giving very good returns, but they are overheated currently. Sectorial funds you should avoid, like pharma, FMCG. Many people love them because they follow a cyclical pattern. See, cyclical means they go up, then they come down. They go up, then they come down. So we are not people who will be tracking the funds every day. We want a consistent and a long-term growth. So sectorial funds should be avoided. This is my personal opinion. Debt component, PPF is must for all. Sukanya Samriddhi for lucky people who have daughters. Recurring RD is a very good debt instrument. Arbitrage funds, I regularly use to park my emergency funds in arbitrage. Gold, ornaments, physical, digital, bullion India, sovereign bonds, that can be chosen. Next slide, sir. How to calculate returns? Lump sum investment, you can calculate over a period of time in percentage by sale date NAV. This is a crude formula, sale date NAV minus purchase date NAV divided by purchase date NAV into 100. This will give you percentage returns. SIP, CAGR or XIRR, they are both which are used in SIP, compound annual growth rate, extended internal rate of returns. XIRR is the best to follow up. Absolute growth rate is also there. Many mutual fund platforms show absolute growth rate. CAGR, it is a rate of return that is required for investment to go from beginning balance to its ending balance, assuming all profits were reinvested. Very clear. But better than this is XIRR. This is a single rate of return that provides the current value of entire investment when applied to each SIP, because multiple investments are done at different time horizons. So this will give you a better single rate of returns for different investment done at different time period. That's it. Exit plans. You have, this is a very important point, because when to exit. The exit strategy is what is required here. What if market falls close to your goals and you don't reach your goals? Exit should always have a window. If you reach your goals 2 years early, you should withdraw your corpus, shift to safer avenues. Larger goals, the retirement, always keep a window of 4 to 5 years and gradually shift money out of equity when goal is approaching. Next slide, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit, for such an enlightening talk by you. I've been taking advices from you. There are two questions before we move on to the next speaker. One is learning how to invest. What is your experience? How did you learn? And are there any financial experts easily available who can guide you? Are they reliable? How did you learn? How did you
Sir,
came to this stage?
I used to read a lot, sir. Value Research is a very good platform which we should everybody read, and they get a monthly report from them. You can just access them; it is free of cost. Secondly, one more point what I want to mention here is that certified financial planners, fees only certified financial planners, we should follow them. Like we go to a particular doctor. Suppose I have some problem of some which I cannot able to handle on my own, so I go to a particular different specialty. So we should not be our own doctors. My point is only that. And they charge a very nominal fee. First year they will charge at least 10, I think 10-15,000. After second year, third year, fourth year, then the fees comes down to 3,000-4,000, 5,000 for your portfolio. They take a good review of your portfolio, advice, even for term insurance. Like you were answering a question on term insurance. What exactly, how is it done? What are your liabilities? How to calculate the best term insurance? How to calculate the sum insured? So this is particularly very important. Even for health, everything they will advise you other than direct equity. So read as much as possible and get a CFP, fees only CFP.
Thank you. Another question, like you said, or I also mentioned in my presentation, that there is some tax involved in short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. The moment you redeem, for example, like 10 years you keep on investing, you don't need money, you are not redeemed, and you have continued with the funds. Suddenly one day, like you feel like the want of money and you withdraw the money. How to avoid that particular tax being paid on that particular year using a scheme of tax harvesting? So can you highlight something about tax harvesting?
Sir, what happens is something, what I do is, it is known as chewing the cud. What happens is, what I do with this, I do this with arbitrage. What happens is, every year, as soon as like, I have 4 to 5 pans, suppose in your family, every year you invest a particular amount, say 1 lakh. Before your profit goes over 1 year, goes over 1 lakh, you get the amount out. So what happens is, you are taking advantage of the equity. You are not paying any taxes. So you have to keep on rotating it. So that is why I called it chewing the cud. What cows and buffaloes do. So you just keep on rotating it, and you have to keep a track of it.
Yes.
As soon as it reaches around a lakh, you in that particular pan you redeem it. So I continued with 3 to 4 pans in my family, and accordingly I have something known as tax harvesting. What exactly you mentioned, sir?
So that is an important aspect. Like if you are aware about that, then every year 1 lakh long-term capital gain, that amounts to like something like 10 lakh rupees if it is 10% return.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is the idea. One who is investing, they should not just keep the mutual fund and forget about them. You need to regularly follow them. Best is to have an active application with you. Let you know all these things, like every day you spend 10-15 minutes on that application, you learn all these things. Now we'll move on to the next speaker, Dr. Vishal Kalia, who will be speaking about stocks. So Vishal, are you there? Vishal? If there are any more questions, how simple the questions may be, can be asked in the chat box. We will try to answer, although none of us are expert. We are just sharing this so that you develop interest in this particular thing. Vishal, are you there? Vishal, unmute yourself. Have you logged in with Yuvraj ID? Yuvraj Kalia. संजय फोन करो ना जरा विशाल को.
Yes, sir, I'm calling.
So is there any question from the audience or some expert is there? I think Umesh Raj commented on certain good things. I don't know you exactly. So are you a regular investor, Umesh? Okay, fine.
So no, sir.
Yeah.
No,
So-
sir, I'm not a regular investor. I'm new to investing, sir.
Okay, that's nice. It's very nice to know about that. Dr. Monica Singh, she's from Bhopal, a very renowned infertility specialist, has asked something. Paytm, etc., gives us options of investing in Axis Bank mutual fund. Should we start that? Amit, kindly answer this question.
Sir, madam, any investment platform through which you want to invest, please just see exactly in which particular fund they are investing. Majority of these, like PhonePe also does, Paytm also does, they give you regular funds. So what happens is they are the commission-based agencies which gather commission from your corpus. So like Grow is one thing which will give you direct fund. Zerodha will give you direct funds. So these are good platforms which you will get through which you will be getting only direct funds. So just see that what particular fund they are offering. That is very important.
So I add to it, like I am using Covera. It is also a direct fund, this thing, there is no brokerage. So you
Yes.
should prefer direct funds because as he also mentioned, 1% loss of corpus is there every year. There is one question from Avyakt, who is a very renowned thinker, I should say thinker. That question is related to share market. I think Vishal will answer that. Deepthi madam has asked something, small savings from very beginning, start SIP, invest in the name of children from young age. That is very good, important.
Sir, I would like to
pointed out.
mention one thing, sir.
Yeah.
People see Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is the best policy available, tax-free from the government. Hello. All those people who have got daughters should invest in Sukanya Samriddhi as soon as possible, ASAP. That is one point which we people go out of equity, after mutual fund, but forget Sukanya Samriddhi.
And one important point madam pointed out is starting very early. Like our children who are approaching 18 years, having their own PAN number, they should begin early. That is very important. Vishal, are you there? What happened to Vishal? Sanjay, what happened to Vishal? Why he logged out?
ओके प्लीज कोई और डिवाइस से आप लॉग इन कर लें सर.
I can see the Vishal, but आवाज नहीं आ रही. देखो
ऐसा होता है मंकी. ये तुम अपने टाइप का मंकी.
There is one question from Dr. Pallavi Dubey. Is there any upper limit of amount that can be invested in Sukanya Samriddhi? Amit. Amit, can you take this question? Actually, I am not aware of this. That's why I am not able to comment on this. As he is available, Amit will answer.
Sir, there is no upper limit, but what exact it is according to hello, sir.
Yeah, please. Please go ahead. आपकी आवाज आना बंद हो गई, लॉग आउट हो गया.
सर मैं इंटरनेट थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो गया था.
Okay, no problem.
Sir, the maximum amount can be deposited should not exceed 1.5 lakhs per annum, sir.
Okay.
Should whatever you invest, like people they invest every month, but
Okay.
it depends on how much corpus you have, sir, accordingly. But it should not go above 1.5 lakhs per financial year.
Okay, thank you. And can you elaborate about SSY and how to start it?
Sir, SSY, we can start anywhere, sir. We can start in a post office. We can start in a bank. Everywhere you can get this facility of SSY.
So now my question to you is, like a person, a doctor who is at 30 years of age, 40 years of age, and 50 years of age, how their approach will be different, like 30, 40, and 50? how their approach will be different towards financial investments?
Sir, at 30, our main exposure, 80-85% should be in equity. Before investing anything, I had some slides regarding emergency fund also, but I could not because lack of time. At least 6 months of your investment should be in an emergency. 6 months of your expenses should be in an emergency fund. You should have a proper health insurance. Your whole family should be insured with health insurance. And you should have a term insurance for your dependents, even for your wife if she is working. After you have completed all these particular three things, then you should go get into investment. 70% should be in equity. Now you can divide accordingly. You should have at least 10 to 15% in your large caps, 15 to 20% in mid caps, multi caps, as well as at least 15% in international equity. There are many mutual funds in India also which give you at least 15 to 20% of exposure to international equity, like Parag Parikh is there, then Motilal Oswal is there, S&P 500. So accordingly, you have to devise your portfolio. Best part will be to get a help of a CFP. We don't have CFPs in our city. We have I think one person in Indore, but majority of renowned CFPs are based in Bangalore and Bombay. I have a CFP. I am using his facilities since 2013, and he gives you exactly what you want. That is very important. I am having problem now. I was having problem with Axis Blue Chip. So he told me what exactly needs to be done. I was having problem with this Franklin Templeton. So they will study the whole portfolio. They will study the whole fund house and give you an opinion that there is something wrong with Franklin. You should shift from Franklin to Mirae. What exactly are the good points with Mirae? We don't have that time to get into the financial statement and the account statement of that particular fund house.
So
my point.
Some fund is vanishing or this thing like Templeton you talked about. So did you withdraw your fund from that particular thing? Or
sir, there was an issue with Franklin Templeton. You must have, sir. I think Vishal Kalia sir has come.
Yes. Okay.
Sir, Vishal sir, please unmute yourself.
हेलो अभी आवाज
आ रही है आवाज?
हाँ, yes sir, yes sir.
मेरे को स्क्रीन शेयरिंग दे देना एंड आई एम रियली सॉरी Zoom मीटिंग बहुत सालों बाद कर रहा हूँ इसलिए मुझे आइडिया नहीं था. Please had to help me.
You are now host sir. Please share your screen.
ठीक है, तो मुझे शेयर करना है.
आया करो मीटिंग में. हम लोग रोज करते हैं, आया करो.
सॉरी. तो नाइस प्रेजेंटेशन डॉक्टर गौर. और जो भी आपने बताया, बेसिकली इफ एनीबडी इज इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, he should actually go to mutual funds because shares are like a different ball game altogether. And I really thank Dr. Vikesh and the JSA team to give me this opportunity, because actually I'm a failed investor. मैं सच बताता हूँ, the amount of money I have lost, आप लोगों ने invest भी नहीं किया होगा. So I think I am an apt person to tell you actually what not to do. ठीक आ रहा है क्या presentation वहाँ पर विकेश? Just confirm कर दो एक बार.
ठीक आ रहा है.
ठीक है, thank you. मैं अपने आप को कैसे हटाऊं यार? Anyhow,
आप ऑडियो अपना बंद कर दीजिए.
मेरा ऑडियो ये बंद कर दो.
वीडियो बंद कर दीजिए. सॉरी,
वीडियो बंद कर दो. राइट. थैंक यू वेरी मच. तो स्टैंडर्ड डिस्क्लेमर जो सबने पहले दिया है मैं भी दे रहा हूँ. ये जो भी मैं यहाँ पे डिस्कस करूंगा, व्हाटएवर आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस विल जस्ट बी अ कैजुअल टॉक विद बिटवीन ईच ऑफ अस. and this is not a financial advice. So Vikesh has also talked about this. Amit has also talked about this. We as a students are never taught actually what is money. हम जीवन भर कमाना चाहते हैं मनी, पर मनी क्या है इसके बारे में हम ज्यादा नहीं समझते. So I just take 2 minutes कि हम जब whatever we are earning today is actually losing to inflation. What Vikesh has already taught, what Amit has already taught. So I won't take much time on this. So this is a chart which explains how much the strongest currency of world, US dollar, has lost its value from 1900, and how much the gold has gained its value since 1900. So over the period of time, US dollar has lost 96% of its value and gold has gained 7,000% of the value. So basically what I want to say is you have to invest in assets, not in money. So how to fight inflation? Trust me, the best way to fight inflation is to be the inflation. If the cost of living is rising and you are a skilled person, you can always raise your own charges. आप 500 रुपए फीस करते हैं, आप 700 रुपए फीस कर सकते हैं. अगर आप skilled हैं, अगर आप अपने आप को advance कर रहे हैं, तो definitely you can fight inflation by just your own self. But there is a limit to it. You age, and when you grow old, it is very difficult to invest in skills. So how other ways we invest in how to fight inflation? You invest in land, you invest in precious metal, art, businesses, etc., etc. But this is the final slide I would like to say about money. Money is just a medium of exchange and nothing else. आप पैसा कमाते हैं, उसको किसी ना किसी asset में डाल दीजिए. Don't keep money like that, because by the very nature of money, it will always devalue. 1900 से पहले all money was backed by gold, but now you may not know it, but all money is backed by trust in government, and we all know that is a very, very fragile asset. So why am I asking you to invest in stocks when you can invest in FDs, buy land, the house always appreciates, you can buy gold, and you can buy art. FDs barely beat actual inflation. 7% इन्फ्लेशन है तो 6.5 से 7.5% तक आपको एफडी का इंटरेस्ट रेट मिलेगा. लैंड इज प्रॉफिटेबल, बट आप उसको पार्ट्स में नहीं बेच सकते हो. आपको आज 1 करोड़ का लैंड है, आपको 10 लाख की जरूरत है, तो 1 ही करोड़ का लैंड बेचना पड़ेगा. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट सेल 2 स्क्वायर फीट या 2 मीटर नहीं बेच सकते. हाउस यू डोंट सेल, यू स्टे इन योर हाउस. हमको ऐसा लगता है कि हमारे हाउस की वैल्यू 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ 5 करोड़ है, बट यू नेवर सेल इट. आपकी वाइफ, आपकी मदर कभी सेल नहीं करने देगी. यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन गोल्ड, पर गोल्ड हैज इट्स ओन प्रॉब्लम. आप उनको स्टोर करने में प्रॉब्लम है, उसको कैरी करने में प्रॉब्लम है. आपके पास 10 करोड़ है, 10 करोड़ का गोल्ड आप उठा नहीं सकते हो. फिर प्रेशियस आर्ट में आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो, बट प्रेशियस आर्ट के साथ में दिक्कत यह है कि वो कभी भी क्राइसिस के वक्त में नहीं बिकता. सामने वाले को पता है कि आप क्राइसिस में हो, तो वो 100 रुपए की चीज आपको 10 रुपए में मांगेगा. सो व्हाट एल्स यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन? You can always invest in stocks. Basically, when you buy a stock, it is essentially purchasing a small piece of that company. So when you buy a stock, आप उस कंपनी में एक हिस्सा ले लेते हो. वो कंपनी अगर प्रॉफिट कमाती है तो you earn a profit out of it, और आपके स्टॉक की वैल्यू more or less it reflects the growth or degrowth of that company. So when you invest in stock, you are basically hedging your inflation by investing in a business, and you are not keeping your money as money. You are investing in an asset. But stock to खरीदने पर उसका dilemma क्या है? How to buy, where to buy? There are so many things. We'll quickly look into those things. When you Amit has touched upon it, I would like to again touch upon it. आप stock investing करना चाहते हैं, if you are a PG student or you are a young physician जिसको अभी तक इसमें stock नहीं किया, only you need is a PAN card, bank account. You need a DMAT account. DMAT is basically it's like a bank account, पर उसमें पैसे नहीं, आपके digital assets रखे जाते हैं. आपके stocks अभी इंडिया में जितने भी stocks हैं वो सारे के सारे DMAT accounts में रखे जाते हैं. You need a trading account to buy and sell, and you have to be KYC compliance. कोई terrorist को stocks खरीदने के लिए अपनी सरकार अलाउ नहीं करेगी, इसलिए you have to be KYC compliant. सो पैन कार्ड इज इशूड बाय IT डिपार्टमेंट, बैंक अकाउंट सबके पास में है। डीमैट अकाउंट इंडिया में NSDL एंड CDSL, दीज आर टू मोस्ट रेप्यूटेड डिपॉजिटरीज हैं जिनमें जब भी हम अकाउंट खोलते हैं तो आइदर ऑफ द टू हमारे को मिलता है। ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट आप ब्रोकर्स के थ्रू खोलते हैं। KYC कंप्लायंस के लिए बेसिकली यू नीड एन आधार कार्ड एंड एन एड्रेस प्रूफ। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, इट इज सिंपलर देन यू थिंक। आप बैंक में जाके बस ये बोलिए कि हमको अकाउंट खोलना है जिसमें हमको ट्रेडिंग और डीमैट करना है, वो 2 से 3 दिन के बीच में आपको आपका अकाउंट खोल के देंगे। बट इट इज माई रिकमेंडेशन दैट बैंक के जो अकाउंट रहते हैं वो उनका प्राइमरी बिजनेस नहीं है, वो उनका बिजनेस कहीं दूर ना चला जाए, इसलिए वो ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट्स या डिपॉजिटरी अकाउंट्स में मदद करते हैं। इसलिए लेवल ऑफ प्रोफेशनलिज्म इन इफ यू ओपन अकाउंट थ्रू बैंक इज लो, पर अगर आप स्टैंड अलोन ब्रोकर्स के थ्रू लेते हैं तो वो हमेशा ड्यू टू कंपटीशन आपको अच्छी सर्विस देने की हमेशा ताक में रहते हैं। इसलिए ऑलवेज ट्राई एंड ओपन एन अकाउंट इन थ्रू अ प्राइमरी ब्रोकर। सॉरी। सो ब्रोकर कैसे चूज करना चाहिए? ऑलवेज चूज अ रजिस्टर्ड, सेबी रजिस्टर्ड ब्रोकर। अभी मैं आके बोलूं कि तुम मेरे को थोड़े से पैसे दे दो, मैं तुम्हारे लिए ट्रेडिंग करना शुरू कर देता हूँ, ऐसे बहुत लोग आपको मिल जाएंगे। प्लीज डोंट फॉल फॉर देम। हमेशा रजिस्टर्ड प्रोसेस के थ्रू ही करें, बिकॉज देयर आर our SEBI is one of the strictest regulator in the world. Trust me, SEBI अपना किसी को नहीं छोड़ता है। अगर आप कुछ भी wrong doing करेंगे, they will ultimately find you out and they will not going to leave you. So always go through a registered SEBI registered one, जिसकी ट्रेडिंग फीस कम हो, जिसके डिपॉजिटरी चार्जेस कम हो। देखिए क्या होता है, जब आप स्टॉक खरीदते हैं ना तो वो डायरेक्ट आपके डिपॉजिटरी में चला जाता है, लेकिन जब आप उसको बेचते हैं ना तो डिपॉजिटरी आपसे स्टॉक को बेचने का चार्ज लेती है। आप एक स्टॉक बेचेंगे तो भी वो कुछ चार्ज मांग लेगी, आप 100 स्टॉक बेचेंगे वो तो भी कुछ भी चार्ज मांग लेगी। सो ट्राई जिसमें डिपॉजिटरी के चार्जेस, डिपॉजिटरीज अलग अलग ब्रोकर्स के साथ में कोलैबोरेट करती है और अच्छे ब्रोकर्स के साथ में ये चार्जेस को वो कम या वेव कर देती है। मिनिमम ट्रांजैक्शन चार्जेस और एनी अदर चार्जेस। एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या से जो शुरू में मैं गुजरता था, मैंने बैंक के थ्रू अकाउंट खोला था, तो व्हाट हैपेंस कि आप एक स्टॉक भी बेचते हो तो मिनिमम ब्रोकरेज 25 रुपए था। तो 10 रुपए का स्टॉक खरीदा, 10 रुपए 10 पैसे में बेचा, 25 रुपए ब्रोकरेज लग गया। सो ऑलवेज ट्राई, जब भी आप वो खोलें हमेशा उनसे बात करिए कि ये वाले चार्जेस तो हमको नहीं लगने वाले हैं, बिकॉज जब आप पहली बार जाएंगे यू वोंट नो एनीथिंग। जो सबसे शाइनी दिखेगा आप उसी को गोल्ड मान लेंगे। बट प्लीज टेक योर टाइम। कैसा ब्रोकरेज है, उसकी रेपुटेशन कैसी है, दिस इज इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट देन which stock and which stock to buy and why to buy. There is another concept कि अगर आप कोई स्टॉक खरीदते हैं तो वो एक ऑर्डर का ही चार्ज लेता है या जितने स्टॉक्स डालोगे उसमें चार्ज मल्टीप्लाई करता है। तो ऑलवेज ट्राई एंड फाइंड अ ब्रोकरेज जो पर ऑर्डर ही आपसे चार्ज लेता है, सो दैट यू नो एक्चुअली व्हाट आर यू पेइंग। सो जस्ट टू सम इट अप, अगर सिर्फ इन्वेस्ट करना है तो बैंक का वो ले लीजिए, वो इतना कम्बरसम होगा कि आप ट्रेडिंग करोगे नहीं और आप सुखी रहोगे। पर अगर आप ट्रेड करना चाहते हो तो स्टैंड अलोन ब्रोकरेज को लीजिए जो सबसे कम कॉस्ट देता है। But there are some fixed charges which you cannot escape. कहीं से भी करिए, स्टैम्प ड्यूटी, सेबी टर्नओवर चार्ज, सिक्योरिटी ट्रांजैक्शन चार्ज एंड STT on all these things is payable. गवर्नमेंट के टैक्सेस विकेश ने बताई दिए हैं, अमित ने समझाई दिए हैं। शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन टैक्स, लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन टैक्स एंड GST, these are all have to be paid. फर्स्ट सेगमेंट में जो चार्जेस हैं दे आर रियली लो, बट अगर आप बहुत हैवी ट्रेडिंग करते हैं तो अल्टीमेटली these charges also matter. There's a good thing about stock investing in India. मान लीजिए आपने इस साल काम किया और आपको 2 लाख रुपए का प्रॉफिट हो गया, अगले साल आपने काम किया और आपको 4 लाख रुपए का लॉस हो गया। तो ये जो 4 लाख रुपए का लॉस है, दिस लॉस यू कैन कैरी टू 8 subsequent financial years to offset against any subsequent profit. मान लीजिए तीसरे साल आपको 2 लाख का प्रॉफिट हो गया तो आप उस प्रॉफिट को इस 4 लाख के प्रॉफिट से बैलेंस कर सकते हैं, एंड यू नीड नॉट पे एनी टैक्स ऑन दैट 2 lakh rupees ऑफ प्रॉफिट, विच इज अ गुड थिंग। सो हमने अकाउंट खोल लिया है, अब हम समझ गए हैं कि हमको कुछ चार्जेस देने पड़ेंगे, सबसे सस्ते वाले ब्रोकरेज में खोला है। तो अब हम खरीदें क्या? वाई एम आई इंसिस्टिंग कि वाई म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं लेना चाहिए और स्टॉक्स लेने चाहिए? देखो, भगवान कृष्ण 16 कलाएं पूर्ण थे, और उसके बाद में जो कुछ भी एक एंटिटी है जो सारे इमोशंस आपको बता सकती है ना, वो स्टॉक मार्केट है। इट इज अ प्लेस ऑफ रिग्रेट, अगर हम सिंपली पुट करते हैं। आपने कोई स्टॉक को खरीदा, उसका रेट नीचे चला गया, आपको दुख लगता है। आपने कोई स्टॉक को खरीदा, उसका रेट ऊपर चला गया, आप खुश होते हैं। ऊपर गया, आपने बेच दिया और वो और ऊपर चला गया, तो आपको फिर रिग्रेट होता है, यार मैंने जल्दी बेच दिया। वो ऊपर गया, आपने नहीं बेचा, उसका रेट फिर नीचे आ गया, तो आपको लगता है यार मैंने तब नहीं बेचा। फिर मार्केट क्रैश होती है और आपको इतना डर लगता है यार कि मेरा तो पूरा पूरा वाइप आउट हो गया। मार्केट क्रैश हुई, आपने सब कुछ बेच दिया और तुरंत मार्केट वापस ऊपर चलेगी, आपको अपने आप पे गुस्सा आता है यार कि क्या नाटक हो रहा है, मैंने पूरा बेच दिया और जैसे ही मैं बेचता हूँ मार्केट भाग जाती। दीज आर ऑल इमोशंस यू हैव टू गो थ्रू व्हेन यू इन्वेस्ट इन डायरेक्टली इन्वेस्ट इन स्टॉक्स। बट जो भी व्यक्ति इन इमोशंस को कंट्रोल कर सकता है, he can be a very good wealth generator, but trust me, only 1 or 2% of people who trade actually earn. So मैं बाद में भी इस चीज को स्ट्रेस करूंगा, अभी भी स्ट्रेस कर रहा हूं, प्लीज इन्वेस्ट, डोंट ट्रेड। बिफोर व्हाट टू बाय, लेट अस सी कि हम हमारे जो स्टॉक्स हैं वो बनते कैसे हैं। सो बेसिकली किसी भी कंट्री की ना इकोनॉमी जो रहती है, उसमें प्राइमरी सेक्टर, सेकेंडरी सेक्टर और टर्शरी सेक्टर रहता है। हर सेक्टर के अपने स्टॉक्स रहते हैं, हर सेक्टर की अपनी ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल रहती है। सो प्राइमरी सेक्टर है एग्रीकल्चर, डेयरी, फिशिंग, फॉरेस्ट्री। उतनी ही लैंड है, उतना ही कैटल है, फिशिंग है। तो इन सेक्टर्स की जो ग्रोथ रहती है ये कंसिस्टेंट रहती है, बट आउट ऑफ द वैक नहीं रहती। सेकेंडरी सेक्टर रहते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, कार हो गया, बिस्किट्स हो गया, एफएमसीजी हो गया। दीज आर fast growing, but they are vulnerable to international price fluctuation of their raw material. Tertiary sector is service sector. Service sector में हम आते हैं, IT industry आती है. So these are basically growth. आप जितनी अच्छी सर्विस, जितनी इनोवेटिव सर्विस दे सकते हैं, उतना अच्छा आप इसमें ग्रो कर सकते हैं। So जो प्राइमरी सेक्टर स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, they have a consistent but slow returns. जो टर्शरी सेक्टर में करते हैं, दे हैव अ फास्टर बट मोर रिस्कियर रिटर्न्स। दीज आर द सेक्टर्स ऑफ द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, बट स्टॉक मार्केट के सेक्टर्स इसमें भी रिफाइंड रहते हैं, लाइक एनर्जी, मटेरियल, इंडस्ट्रियल। सो अमित जो बता रहा था कि जब हम स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो समटाइम वी इन्वेस्ट इन थीम्ड, भाई रियल एस्टेट थीम्ड उसमें कर लिया हमने, कंज्यूमर डिस्क्रिशनरी उसमें कर लिया। अगर रियल एस्टेट का बूम चल रहा है और आपने रियल एस्टेट के स्टॉक्स लिए हैं, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल अर्न मोर देन द स्टॉक मार्केट। बट दीज आर ऑल सिक्लिकल सेंटर। आज रियल एस्टेट का बूम है, कल यूटिलिटीज का हो सकता है, परसों फाइनेंशियल्स का हो सकता है। इसलिए थीम बेस्ड स्टॉक्स एंड थीम बेस्ड म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर रिस्की एंड यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल। तो वी अंडरस्टैंड कि हमारे देश के सेक्टर्स क्या हैं, स्टॉक के सेक्टर्स क्या हैं। तो जब हमको सब पता लग गया तो ऐसा लगता है कि चलो अब कुछ स्टॉक्स बाय कर लिए जाएं। तो सबके मन में आता है कि फटाफट कुछ ऐसे स्टॉक बता दो जिससे मैं अभी ले लूं और बाद में मैं करोड़पति हो जाऊं। ऐसे मुझे पता होते तो मैं आज ये प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दे रहा होता। एनीहाउ, सो थिंक लाइक अ सर्जन, रिसर्च एंड ड्यू डिलिजेंस करिए, डाइवर्सिफाई। कुछ भी स्टॉक लेना है, म्यूचुअल फंड लेना है, यू हैव टू डाइवर्सिफाई, यू हैव टू शो पेशेंस। इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा, लर्निंग करनी पड़ेगी मिस्टेक से। यू हैव टू गो फॉर अ लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव। लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव हैज बोथ good outcomes and very bad outcomes also, and these all things we are going to discuss in further few slides. Research and due diligence. सबसे पहले जब हम स्टॉक्स खरीदने जाते हैं तो ये देखते हैं कि किस सेक्टर का लेना है। ट्राई वो सेक्टर जो आपको समझ में आता है। मान लीजिए आपको फार्मा समझ में आता है, सो आपने सेक्टर फार्मा का चूज कर लिया, अब उसका कौन सा स्टॉक खरीदें। तो you do the due diligence in small cap, mid cap, large cap and very big cap companies. There is this ratio, बहुत सारे ratios हैं, इतने ratios हैं कि उनकी गिनती ही नहीं है, but there are few which I would like to tell you, price to earning ratio. एक स्टॉक की कीमत अगर 10 रुपए है और वो उसकी जो अर्निंग है वो 5 रुपए है, तो उसकी जो हम वैल्यू निकालते हैं ना, वो 2 निकालते हैं. 10 डिवाइडेड बाय 5 इज 2. तो जिसकी भी प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो कम है, वो अपने एक्चुअल वेल्थ के पास मिल रहा है. प्राइस टू अर्न रेशियो का कम होने का मतलब नहीं है कि वो आगे जाके बढ़ने ही वाला है और वो बहुत बड़ा सेक्टर बनने ही वाला है. बट अगर आपने एक अच्छी कंपनी देख ली, आपने 3 अच्छी कंपनीज देख ली, सिप्ला देख ली, सन देख लिया, डॉक्टर रेड्डीज देख लिया, फिर इनका प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो देखा, तो आपने देखा कि प्राइस टू अर्निंग ऑफ रेशियो ऑफ सिप्ला इज 10, लेकिन सन का तो 5 है. अगर ये दोनों ही कंपनीज ग्रो करने वाली हैं, तो सन इज मोर लाइकली टू गिव रिटर्न बिकॉज ये अपने एक्चुअल वैल्यू के पास में मिल रहा है. सो दिस इज जस्ट एक क्रूड बता रहा हूं. यू हैव टू लुक फॉर सो मेनी अर्निंग रेशियोज. दिस इज द इजीएस्ट वन टू. Most important thing to see when you buy a stock for long term is the management of the company. देखिए, बहुत चोर उचक्के हैं अपने यहाँ पर. आप बार बार सुनते रहते होंगे कि ये कंपनी का मैनेजमेंट ने धोखा दे दिया, उस कंपनी का मैनेजमेंट ने धोखा दिया. 10-15 साल का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड निकालिए. अगर वो कंपनी अपने इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए हमेशा से साथ में खड़ी रही है और उस कंपनी का स्टॉक गलत बुरे समय से गुजर रहा है, दैट इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट इन दिस कंपनी. लाइक मेरा जो पर्सनल फेवरेट मैनेजमेंट है वो टाटा से. वो कभी भी अपने जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं उनको धोखा नहीं देते, उसको फैमिली की तरह लेके चलते. लॉट ऑफ टाइम टाटा के अंडर की जितने कंपनीज हैं, बारी बारी से किसी का बुरा समय आता रहा है, बट वेन एवर दे हैव फॉलन अ लॉट, आई हैव मेड इट अ पॉइंट दैट आई शुड इन्वेस्ट इन दोज कंपनीज. Of course, this is not a financial advice, but this is what I do. Another thing to look for is a dividend track record. आपने स्टॉक तो खरीद लिया, उसका वैल्यू ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे जा रहा है, पर आपको उससे क्या फायदा हो रहा है. तो every good company, most good companies, they give dividend. एक स्टॉक पर आपको वो X amount of dividend देती है. अगर कोई कंपनी पिछले 5 साल, 3 साल, 10 साल से डिविडेंड दे रही है, तो दैट इज एन एक्स्ट्रा अर्निंग विच यू आर हैविंग अलोंग विद द स्टॉक. आपका स्टॉक बना रहता है, आईटीसी ने 40 रुपए डिविडेंड दिया, आपके अकाउंट में 40 रुपए आ गए. सो दीज आर द बेसिक पैरामीटर्स यू शुड लुक व्हेन यू डू अ ड्यू डिलिजेंस. डाइवर्सिफाई. आपको लगता है कि ऑयल एंड गैस सेक्टर अच्छा है, तो सारा का सारा पैसा उठा के ऑयल एंड गैस सेक्टर में नहीं डाल दीजिए. अलग अलग सेक्टर्स में इन्वेस्ट करिए और उन सेक्टर्स की भी अलग अलग कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करिए. डोंट पुट ऑल योर एग्स इन वन बास्केट. पेशेंस एंड डिसिप्लिन. स्टॉक मार्केट इज अ डिवाइस फॉर ट्रांसफरिंग मनी फ्रॉम इम्पेशेंट टू पेशेंट. आपने इन्वेस्ट किया और आपके दोस्त ने इन्वेस्ट किया, आपका स्टॉक 1 साल से वहीं का वहीं है, उसका स्टॉक 1.5 गुना हो गया, 20% भाग गया. आपको लगता है यार अब मैं वो ले लेता हूँ. आपने उसको लिया, अब आपके स्टॉक के भागने का टाइम आ गया. इफ यू आर कन्विंस्ड कि जिस स्टॉक में आपने इन्वेस्ट किया है वो अच्छा स्टॉक है, तो कीप योर पेशेंस एंड एक्यूमुलेट. देयर इज दिस फिनोमेना कॉल्ड डॉलर और रुपी कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग. इसके तहत हम क्या करते हैं, हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि एक कंपनी में मान लीजिए हमको 1 लाख रुपए लगाना है, तो आप क्या करेंगे, एक साथ 1 लाख रुपए लगा सकते हैं, या हर रेगुलर इंटरवल पर आप सेम अमाउंट ऑफ मनी ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम लगा सकते हैं. लाइक हमको 1 लाख रुपए 10 महीने में लगाना है. जब स्टॉक का प्राइस कम होगा तो आपको ज्यादा स्टॉक मिलेगा, जब आपका स्टॉक का प्राइस ज्यादा होगा तो आपको कम स्टॉक मिलेगा, पर अमाउंट आप उतना ही लगाते चले जा रहे हैं. इट हैज बीन क्लियरली शोन कि अगर हम रेगुलर इन्वेस्टमेंट इन अ पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक और म्यूचुअल फंड करते हैं, जिसको म्यूचुअल फंड में SIP कहते हैं, हम लोग रुपी या डॉलर कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग कहते हैं, तो दे यूजुअली गिव मोर रिटर्न ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम गिवन योर इन्वेस्टमेंट इज इन अ साउंड कंपनी और साउंड एसेट. अभी आप किसी ऐसी कंपनी में लगा दें जो भाग जाए, तो 1 लाख भी जाएगा और जितना आपने रेगुलर लगाया वो भी जाएगा. पर अगर आप स्लोली आप एक्यूमुलेट करते हुए लगाते जाते हैं पैसा, तो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम आपको हार्ड बर्न भी कम होता है. आपने 1 लाख लगाया, उसका 10% रेट गिर गया, आपको लगता है यार मैं 10% नीचे खरीद सकता था. आपने 1 लाख लगाया, वो 10% ऊपर चला गया, तो आपको लगता है यार मैं और लगाऊं कि नहीं लगाऊं, ऊपर जाएगा कि नीचे आएगा. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि हम हर रेगुलर इंटरवल पे सम अमाउंट डालते चले जाते हैं, तो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम हमारी एवरेज जो रहती है वो हमेशा बेटर रहती है देन, हमेशा नहीं मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम बेटर रहती है। दिस इज अ चार्ट आई वुड लाइक एवरीबडी टू सी वेरी केयरफुली। इसको हम अच्छे से 1 मिनट 2 मिनट लेके डिस्कस करेंगे। सी, ये मार्केट साइकिल है। पिछले 500 सालों से जितने भी 500 साल 1000 साल जितने समय से आप पूरी दुनिया में ट्रेडिंग होती है, यही पैटर्न को फॉलो किया जाता है। सबसे पहले देयर इज ऑप्टिमिज्म। कोई नया स्टॉक आया, कोई नया वो आया, चीज आई, तो उसमें एक ऑप्टिमिज्म रहता है कि चलो इसका रेट बढ़ेगा। इस स्टेज पर, ऑप्टिमिज्म के स्टेज पर, मोस्ट स्मॉल मेरे आपके जैसे इन्वेस्टर कभी इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते। हमको या तो पता नहीं रहता या हमको कन्विक्शन नहीं रहता। फिर क्या होता है, जब ऑप्टिमिज्म यूफोरिया में चला जाता है ना, जब कम सब तरफ इसके बारे में बात होने लगती है कि वो रिलायंस पावर का जो शेयर है, जब वो लिस्ट होएगा तो वो 10,000 रुपए में होगा, तो वो यूफोरिया में आ जाए। तब मेरे और आपके जैसे लोग उठते हैं, अरे यार बोले दिस इज ग्रेट, अब इसमें इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया ना तो अपन बहुत बड़ा लॉस खा जाएंगे भाई। तो हम यहाँ पर इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, यहाँ कहीं से शुरू होते हैं। मेरा कर्सर दिख रहा है क्या विकेश? 1 मिनट जस्ट कंफर्म कर देना।
Yes.
ओके, थैंक यू। सो हम यहाँ कहीं से इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू करते हैं। तो स्मार्ट इन्वेस्टर यहाँ सर पैसा निकालना शुरू कर देता है। देन द स्टॉक स्टार्ट्स फॉलोइंग। जब स्टॉक गिरने से लगता है ना, तो हम बोलते नहीं नहीं यार, यहाँ से ऊपर आया था, थोड़ा सा नीचे आएगा फिर वापस ऊपर चला जाएगा। तो फिर हम बोलते नहीं, हम लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर है, कितना भी गिरेगा हम तो नहीं इसमें से निकालने वाले पैसा। बट दिस इज एक्चुअली द टाइम टू रीबैलेंस। स्टॉक कीप्स ऑन फॉलोइंग, तो यहाँ पर हमको डर लगने लगा था, अरे यार पूरा पैसा ही चला जाएगा अपना। तो जब हम यहाँ आते हैं ना, तो स्मार्ट इन्वेस्टर पूरा पैसा निकाल चुका होता है और हम ये बोलते हैं नहीं नहीं, दिस टाइम इट इज डिफरेंट। ये साइकिल इस बार ऐसी नहीं रहेगी, फटाक से ऊपर चली जाएगी। फिर यहाँ पर आ जाता है, पर यहाँ पर हम सरेंडर कर देते, बोले अब कुछ बचा ही नहीं है, 100 रुपए लगाए थे, 10 रुपए बचे, उतने तो निकाल दो। दिस इज वेयर मोस्ट स्मॉल इन्वेस्टर्स दे टेक आउट एंड द साइकिल अगेन स्टार्ट्स टुवर्ड्स ऑप्टिमिज्म। फिर यहाँ से ऑप्टिमिज्म शुरू होता है, स्मार्ट इन्वेस्टर इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर देता है। हम देखते हैं, हमको लगता है यार ये फिर से नीचे आएगा, हम फिर से बाय कर लेंगे, या तो अब मेरे को इस स्टॉक की तरफ देखना ही है, आई सी समथिंग एल्स एंड देन दिस स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हियर। कभी भी इन्वेस्ट करना है, ट्रेड करना है, इसको ना अपने घर में कहीं लगा के रखना, ये आपको बहुत बार बहुत सारी चीजों से बचाता रहेगा। तो बेसिकली जो अपने इन्वेस्ट किया है, उसमें कुछ चीजों का अपने को हमेशा ध्यान रखना पड़ता है। इन्वेस्ट विथ योर माइंड, नॉट विथ योर हार्ट। आपको लगता है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट गलत हो गया है, प्लीज टेक योर लॉसेस। फियर एंड ग्रीड हैव नो प्लेस इन साउंड इन्वेस्टिंग। ये जो एक फीलिंग आती है ना कि मैं कैसे लॉस खा सकता हूँ यार, इसको जिस दिन आप जीत लेंगे ना, उस दिन आप पैसा कमाने लग जाएंगे। लॉजिक से इन्वेस्ट करिए, मार्केट हाइप से नहीं। जब वो सभी लोग बात करने लगते हैं ना कि अब मार्केट में ये वाला जो स्टॉक आया ये बहुत अच्छा है, पेटीएम का स्टॉक ले लो, या अपना जो नए हाई एंड स्टॉक्स हैं। देखिए, ऑलवेज रिमेम्बर, हम लोग जो इस स्टॉक मार्केट के कीड़े नहीं है ना, वी आर बेसिकली फीडर्स ऑफ मनी टू द स्टॉक मार्केट। जो स्टॉक मार्केट के जो एक्चुअल लोग हैं, जो who earn a lot, most of them are ethical but many of them are unethical people। वो वहां पर सिर्फ पैसा कमाने आए हुए हैं। एंड ऑलवेज रिमेम्बर, स्टॉक मार्केट में ना पैसा जनरेट नहीं होता, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है। आप भी पैसा डालते हैं, मैं भी पैसा डालता हूँ, विकेश भी पैसा डालेगा, सोलंकी भी पैसा डालेगा। ये पैसा किसी ना किसी के पास में ज्यादा जाएगा, तो जिसके पास ज्यादा जाएगा तो किसी के पास से वो चला जाएगा। ट्राई एंड थिंक कि जो अनएथिकल व्यक्ति है वो क्या सोच रहा है। आई नो इट इज अ वेरी टफ टास्क जो मैं आपसे बोल रहा हूँ, बट स्टॉक मार्केट में जो अनएथिकल व्यक्ति क्या सोच रहा है, उस सोच के साथ में एथिकल पैसा कमाने का प्रयास करिए। तो ये सोच जब आएगी ना, तो व्हाट तो क्या आपने को छोड़ना पड़ेगा? एक रात में करोड़पति बनने की इच्छा। ये जब इच्छा आ जाती है ना कि मेरे को 1 लाख का लॉस लग गया है और मैं कल 2 लाख कमा लूंगा, ये जिस दिन आपके मन में आ गया, आप समझ लीजिए कि आप स्टॉक मार्केट में सब कुछ खोने वाले हैं. सो ट्राई टू बी रैशनल एंड ट्राई टू बी प्रैक्टिकल. अपनी मिस्टेक से लर्न करिए, पर ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, मिस्टेक से लर्न करने के लिए पैसा बचा हुआ होना चाहिए आपके पास में. आप पूरा पैसा लूज कर दें और फिर मेरी तरह आप लोगों को ज्ञान दें तो उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. यू लर्न फ्रॉम योर मिस्टेक्स एंड रेक्टिफाई दोज मिस्टेक्स. सो व्हाट आर द मोस्ट कॉमन मिस्टेक्स बाय इन्वेस्टर्स? हॉट टिप्स. सुबह सुबह वो टॉप 20 CNBC में आता है और टॉप 10 आता है CNBC आवाज में, उसमें से अपन ने सुना और फिर अपन ने स्टॉक खरीदना शुरू कर दिया. रिस्क मैनेजमेंट नहीं करते हम. स्टॉक गिर रहा है, वी आर नॉट टेकिंग अ स्टॉप लॉसेस. हम मार्केट को टाइम करने का प्रयास करते हैं शॉर्ट टर्म मूवमेंट्स में. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, इट इज नॉट द टाइमिंग इन द मार्केट that gives you money, it is the time in the market that gives you money. कब इन्वेस्ट किया उससे ज्यादा जरूरी है कितने दिन तक इन्वेस्ट किया. सो ऑलवेज ट्राई टू बी एन इन्वेस्टर. रेगुलर पोर्टफोलियो रिव्यू. अमित ने हमको म्यूचुअल फंड के बारे में बताया जो म्यूचुअल फंड मैनेजर्स मैनेज करते हैं. उसके बावजूद आखिरी की 4 स्लाइड्स में उसने यही स्ट्रेस किया कि तुम ही को देखना है कि जो तुम्हारा म्यूचुअल फंड है वो अच्छे से काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा. म्यूचुअल फंड देखना है तो स्टॉक्स भी देखिए. जल्दी अमीर बनने का प्रयास मत करिए. स्टॉप लॉस ऑर्डर्स के साथ काम करिए. टाइम इन द मार्केट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन टाइमिंग इन द मार्केट. मिस्ड अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती हैं जब हम किसी भी स्टॉक को ज्यादा समय तक रख लेते हैं या बहुत जल्दी बेच देते हैं. ये काफी कुछ लक पर डिपेंड करता है. सो सी, ये चार्ट मैं इसलिए लेके आया हूं कि लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव कितना फायदा देता है. दीज आर इंडियन स्टॉक्स ऑफ लास्ट 18, 17, 16 years एंड लुक एट द अमाउंट ऑफ रिटर्न दे हैव गिवन. बजाज फाइनेंस ने 809% नहीं दिया, 809 गुना रिटर्न दिया है. HDFC बैंक को स्टॉक मार्केट के पार्लेंस में द 10% स्टॉक कहा जाता है. एवरी क्वार्टर इट गिव्स अ 10% प्रॉफिट. तो जिन्होंने शुरुआत से इन स्टॉक्स को रखा हुआ है, शुरुआत से नहीं रखा हुआ, 1 साल बाद, 2 साल बाद, 3 साल बाद, 4 साल बाद, 7 साल बाद भी लिया हुआ है, उनके भी रिटर्न्स हैवी हैं, बहुत ज्यादा रिटर्न्स हैं, बट दे शोड कन्विक्शन इन गुड कंपनीज. इसमें से जितनी भी कंपनीज यहाँ पर हैं, यू कैन टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट और यू कैन लुक एट देम आफ्टरवर्ड्स. ऑल दीज कंपनीज हैव excellent management. इनके जो मैनेजमेंट वाले हैं, they are transparent, they talk to their investors and they are not found in any shady transactions. रिलायंस इस लिस्ट में नहीं है बिकॉज सब जानते हैं क्यों नहीं है.
सर एशियन पेंट्स भी नहीं है सुनिए.
एशियन पेंट नहीं है क्या? मैंने उसमें से उतारा. एशियन पेंट्स भी पिडिलाइट है. बर्जर्स पेंट. एशियन पेंट इज ऑल्सो अ मल्टी बैगर. सो कंटिन्यूस एजुकेशन इसलिए जरूरी है कि वहां पर मैंने दिखाया जो स्टॉक्स 800 गुना बढ़े हैं. यहाँ पर देखिए, ये 2500 रुपए का शेयर था 2008 में, अभी 70 रुपए का है. ये एक यूनिटेक के लिए ऐसा कहा जाता था जब 2007 में कि इसका सर्किट नहीं टूटता है. एवरी डे इट यूज्ड टू राइज 5% फॉर से अराउंड अ ईयर. अभी 1 रुपए का है. सो अगर आप कंटिन्यूस एजुकेशन, अपने पोर्टफोलियो को लगातार नहीं देख सकते हो, आप बैड साइंस नहीं पकड़ सकते हो, तो दिस इज वेयर यू एंड. इसमें आपने 1 साल, 2 साल, 5 साल कहीं पर भी इन्वेस्ट किया होगा, आपकी पूरी नेटवर्क वाइप आउट हो गई. सो यू हैव टू फाइंड अ गुड स्टॉक एंड कीप विथ इट. यू हैव टू लुक फॉर अ बैड एप्पल एंड यू हैव टू थ्रो इट आउट. 2500 का खरीदा, अगर आप 1400 रुपए में भी निकलते तो 1000 ही रुपए का लॉस लगा हुआ था आपको. 500 रुपए का स्टॉक अगर आप 100 पे भी निकलते तो 400 का लॉस लगा था. यहाँ पे पूरी नेटवर्क वाइप आउट हो गई. विकेश इज आल्सो मेकिंग सम फ्यू पॉइंट्स, वो अपन लाइव डिस्कशन में वो कर लेंगे.
Okay, I am keeping chat alive.
ओके, राइट. सो म्यूचुअल फंड्स, भाई स्टॉक ही खरीदना है तो म्यूचुअल फंड ले लो. लेस रिस्कियर है, डाइवर्सिफिकेशन ज्यादा है, इसमें आपको खुद नहीं ढूंढना पड़ता है, बट मैक्सिमम गुड रिटर्न. अमित, आई मे बी अब स्लाइटली आउट ऑफ द वैग, बट यही है. अच्छे सारे म्यूचुअल फंड जो 5 साल 10 साल में रिटर्न देते हैं, वो ये दिस इज अ कैगर. हर साल इतना रिटर्न दिया है 5 साल तक, 22%, 13%, 21%. बट द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू will tell you why keeping stocks will keep your grandchildren's happy. ये विप्रो का स्टॉक है। जिसने 10,000 रुपए विप्रो में लगाए थे, उसकी कीमत आज की डेट में 509 करोड़ रुपए है। ये इन्फोसिस का स्टॉक है। जिसने 10,000 रुपए लगाए थे, उसकी कीमत आज की डेट में 15 करोड़ रुपए है, प्लस 22 लाख रुपए का उसको डिविडेंड मिल चुका है। मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि आप 509 करोड़ तक रुकते हैं। मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि आप इतने अच्छे हैं कि आप ले लेंगे तो कभी बेचेंगे नहीं। बट 1981 से अगर आपने 1997 में भी बेचा होगा तो भी आपको मल्टी रिटर्न्स मिले होंगे। अगेन आई वुड लाइक टू स्ट्रेस, डायरेक्ट स्टॉक इन्वेस्टिंग में ये एडवांटेज है जो म्यूचुअल फंड्स में नहीं मिल सकता। सी, म्यूचुअल फंड के मैनेजर की ना एक प्रॉब्लम है, एक मजबूरी है। उसका मैंडेट है कि कोई भी एक इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक एक सर्टेन परसेंटेज ऑफ एसेट मैनेजमेंट से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता। मान लीजिए उसके पास विप्रो है और वो 5%, उसकी लिमिट है कि कोई भी एक स्टॉक 5% से ज्यादा आपके पास नहीं हो सकता। अब विप्रो का रेट अगर इतना बढ़ गया कि उसकी वैल्यू 10% हो गई है उसके स्टॉक की, तो 5% बेचना विप्रो का स्टॉक उसकी मजबूरी हो जाएगा। सो म्यूचुअल फंड्स, दे गिव गुड रिटर्न्स, कंसिस्टेंट रिटर्न, पर विंडफॉल आउट ऑफ द लीग रिटर्न स्टॉक्स ही देगा। जस्ट बाय अ स्टॉक विच इज गुड एंड कीप इट फॉर योर फैमिली। सो स्टॉक्स अच्छे हैं, पर मार्केट क्रैश भी तो होता है। जब क्रैश होता है तो सारे के सारे अपना प्रॉफिट निकल जाता है। मार्केट क्रैशेस आर द बेस्ट टाइम टू बाय फॉर इन्वेस्टर्स। 1929 में ये these are some of the big crashes जो लेफ्ट साइड पर दिख रहे हैं। यहां पर तो यूएस में डिप्रेशन आ गया था, और दिस इज द ग्राफ ऑफ यूएस स्टॉक मार्केट फ्रॉम 1900। every crash is followed by some time of stagnation and it has shown consistent rise and it will keep on consistent rising. अगर आपने 1929 में लॉस बुक कर लिया ये सोच के कि अब तो मार्केट खत्म हो गई है, तो 1937 में आपने रिग्रेट किया, 50 में किया, 70 में किया। 70 में ये सिल्वर का फॉल आया था, सिल्वर की स्पेकुलेशन का, आप निकल गए, तो आपने 2000 का Y2K फॉल, Y2K का जो ग्रोथ था वो मिस कर दिया। फिर आपने ट्विन टावर्स को मिस किया, कोविड को मिस किया, और मार्केट भागती चली गई। तो इफ यू आर एन इन्वेस्टर, प्लीज प्रे कि आपके इन्वेस्टिंग की अर्ली जर्नी में, आप आज से इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो अगले 2-3 साल में मार्केट क्रैश कर जाए। ट्रस्ट मी, दैट इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट इन स्टॉक्स। रिमेंबर, it is the trader who loses, not the investor. All traders start with the dream of getting rich quickly. 40% ट्रेडर एक महीने में वाइप आउट हो जाते हैं। 80% जो बचते हैं वो 2 साल में निकल जाते हैं। सिर्फ 7% ही 5 साल तक रहते हैं, और अमित की तरह के एक ही ट्रेडर रहता है, 1% ट्रेडर ही रहता है जो एक्चुअली में पैसा कमाता है। मोस्ट ट्रेडर्स दे लूज, आई लॉस्ट। आप लोगों भी अगर ट्रेड करते होंगे तो यू मे हैव, I know a few good colleagues, शायद यहाँ पर ऑनलाइन भी हैं, who have earned by trading or investing, but मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि they gave a lot of time to read things and they are really lucky. ठीक है, तो भी हमने समझ लिया कि क्रैश भी कर सकती है, भाग भी सकती है, तो why not share some strategies कि हम स्टॉक में कब इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए। आपने अच्छा स्टॉक तो चूज कर लिया, बट व्हाट इज द राइट टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट। तो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर these two things, you do your own research, I am not a financial advisor. ये बहुत ही क्रूड फॉर्मूला है फॉर बाइंग स्टॉक्स। अमित ने जो अच्छे स्टॉक बताए, उनके साइट पे जाइए, उनकी स्टॉक टॉप होल्डिंग्स देखिए। जो भी वो टॉप होल्डिंग्स रख रहे हैं वो आप एक्चुअली में स्टॉक्स में खरीद लीजिए। इट इज वेरी सिंपल। HDFC बैंक उनके स्टॉक है, आप थोड़ा सा HDFC बैंक खरीद लीजिए, रिलायंस खरीद लीजिए, ICICI बैंक खरीद लीजिए। अगर वो म्यूचुअल फंड्स अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे तो आपके स्टॉक भी अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे, और यू आर बाइंग द टॉप रंग, तो मोस्ट लाइकली द टॉप रंग आर द बेस्ट वंस, तो आपके पास भी बेस्ट वन आ गए। कीप ऑन राइडिंग। थोड़े समय बाद जाइए, उनके स्टॉक फिर से म्यूचुअल फंड देखिए, अगर ऐसा लगता है कि उन्होंने HDFC बैंक बेच दिया, थोड़ा सा आप भी बेच दीजिए। पर स्टैटिस्टिकली ये बहुत ज्यादा फायदेमंद स्ट्रेटेजी नहीं है। इट इज अ क्रूड वन। इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट डायरेक्टली इन स्टॉक इन्वेस्टिंग, स्टार्ट दिस वे, बाय द पैनिक। अभी लेटेस्ट क्रूड कोविड का फॉल आया था. This is how Indian market fell around 40-45% in 1.5 months. मोदी जी ने लॉकडाउन अनाउंस किया. That was the worst part. लॉकडाउन हो गया मतलब इंडियन इकोनॉमी कैसे रिकवर करेगी? एंड लुक एट द रिकवरी. आपको लगा कि सब खत्म हो गया, आपने यहाँ बेच दिया. चलो यहाँ नहीं बेचा तो यहाँ बेच दिया कि थोड़ा सा रिकवर हुआ, यहाँ बेच दिया. यहाँ नहीं बेचा तो एक बार फॉल आया आपको, अब तो बेच ही दे. यहाँ बेचिए और फिर कभी गिरी ही नहीं मार्केट. इट इज गोइंग बाय स्ट्रेंथ बाय स्ट्रेंथ. यहाँ पर 4 लाख केसेस पर डे आ रहे थे. एंड लुक एट अवर मार्केट, ऑल टाइम हाई. So buy the panic if you are an investor. Always remember, buy when there's blood on the street. But always remember that blood should not be yours. किसी और का blood होना चाहिए, तब आप कमाएंगे. And बेचना कब है? बेचना तब है जब आपकी मदर इन लॉ, आपका ड्राइवर, जिस रिक्शे वाले में आप बैठते हो, वो बोले भैया ये वाला स्टॉक ले लिया. हम सबको, मोस्ट ऑफ अस जो लाइक पिछले 10 साल से हैं, उनको एक बहुत बढ़िया स्टॉक के बारे में पता होगा, रिलायंस पावर. ये रिलायंस पावर का आईपीओ आने वाला था. सो इतना हाइप था कि पिछले 10 साल में जितने डीमैट अकाउंट खुले थे, उससे ज्यादा एक डीमैट अकाउंट सिर्फ 2 महीने में खुल गए थे. आप रिक्शे वाले से रिक्शे में बैठे, कहीं उतरे, सर डीमैट खुला लिया, रिलायंस पावर का आईपीओ आने वाला है. इतना हाइप, इतना हाइप. व्हाट हैपेंड? दैट आईपीओ गॉट ओवर सब्सक्राइब्ड बाय 80 टाइम्स. उसका प्राइस खुला 50% नीचे, और आज की डेट में वो ₹1.5 का चल रहा है. करीब 300-400 रुपए का आईपीओ आया. तो बी फेयरफुल व्हेन अदर्स आर ग्रीडी एंड ग्रीडी व्हेन अदर्स आर फ्यूल. सो विकेश, में टाइम बहुत तो नहीं ले रहा, हार्डली 8 स्लाइड्स बची हैं बस.
अच्छा है, तुम कंप्लीट करो उसको.
ठीक. सो जब आपको वो लोग ज्ञान देने लग जाएं जिनको स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं है, तो हमेशा समझ लीजिए कि यूफोरिया की स्टेज आ गई है. सो रिकॉर्ड हाई प्राइसेस डजंट मीन रिकॉर्ड मार्केट विल फॉल. आज हमारी मार्केट ने, आज की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, रियल टाइम, आज हमारी मार्केट ने लाइफ टाइम हाई बनाया है फिर से. ये आगे भी और बनाती चली जाएगी. लेकिन रिकॉर्ड हाई इंटरेस्ट इन स्टॉक मार्केट इज डेफिनेट साइन कि वहां पे करेक्शन आने वाला है. तो व्हाट आर द साइंस ऑफ रिकॉर्ड हाई इंटरेस्ट? एक तो नॉन टेक्निकल लोग स्टॉक्स के बारे में बात करने लग जाएं. सेकंड है जब व्हाइट पेपर, दैनिक भास्कर, नव भारत, नई दुनिया, इनके फ्रंट पेज पे जिस दिन ये न्यूज आने लग जाएगी ना कि इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट न्यू हाई पे, नए हाई पे हाई बना रही है, ये एक प्रैक्टिकल है जो हम अभी कर भी सकते हैं, और अगले 2 महीने के लिए हम इसको फॉलो भी कर सकते हैं. अभी तक मैं रोज फॉलो कर रहा हूँ. दैनिक भास्कर में साइड नोट, फ्रंट पेज पे साइड नोट आया है कि इंडियन मार्केट ने न्यू हाई बनाई. आप सब अपने घर में देखिएगा कि जिस दिन व्हाइट पेपर में, फाइनेंशियल पेपर्स और पिंक पेपर्स, नॉन फाइनेंशियल पेपर्स और व्हाइट पेपर्स, व्हाइट पेपर में जिस दिन ये न्यूज आने लग जाएगी कि इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट ने रिकॉर्ड हाई बना दीजिए, ट्रस्ट मी, markets will not go more than 3 to 5% before correcting from those levels. अपन इसको 1-2 महीने में इसको फॉलो भी कर सकते हैं, because this is a very opportune time जब हम ये वाला सेमिनार या जूम मीटिंग कर रहे हैं. तो डेली न्यूज़पेपर स्टार्ट फ्लैशिंग रिकॉर्ड्स हाई, इट इज टाइम टू सेल और टेक प्रॉफिट्स. So just to sum up, neglecting research, emotional, lack of diversification, टाइमिंग द मार्केट, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट नहीं होना, फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस नहीं करना, दीज आर ऑल मिस्टेक्स वी एज एन इन्वेस्टर डू. देखो, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, इट इज योर हार्ड अर्न मनी एंड यू मे लूज इट, एंड यू मे लूज इट ऑल. कम कमाइए पर कम से कम लूज मत करिए. दिस इज माई हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट. ये बहुत फेमस फोटो है, इसको भी हमेशा ध्यान रखना. ही वॉज अ वेरी फेमस सिल्वर ट्रेडर. At a time, he had 66% of the silver market under his domain. और 1929 के crash में he was selling his Rolls Royce cars for $100 because he got wiped out. Please, please, please don't trade. खासकर छोटे बच्चे, यंग बच्चे, अगर पीजी स्टूडेंट्स देख रहे हैं, बहुत एड्रेनलिन रश आता है स्टॉक खरीद के बेचने में. आज आपने खरीदा, कल 500 रुपए, 2000, 10,000, 1 लाख का प्रॉफिट हो गया ना. ट्रस्ट मी, मेरे एग्जाम्पल लीजिए, प्लीज डोंट ट्रेड, जस्ट इन्वेस्ट, यू विल बी वेरी 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 हैप्पी. So in the realm of wealth creation, the stock market has stood the testament of power of investing wisely. Through careful analysis, patience, and long-term mindset, great fortunes have been forged. And opportunity awaits those who dare to embrace the potential risk of the market. Take home message: invest, don't trade, rupee cost averaging kariye, keep studying and researching. India is a developing country and we have a very long way to. अपनी market अभी बहुत ऊपर जाएगी, corrections आते रहेंगे, crashes आते रहेंगे. Keep faith, keep calm. Only way of Indian market to fail is if India as a country fails. हमारी Sensex तभी zero होगा जब हम as a country fail हो जाएंगे. Otherwise हम we are in a very 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 sweet spot. Keep taking small profits. थोड़ा थोड़ा profit घर लेते जाइए. And trust me, Indian regulators are finest in the world. याद रखो, आदमी हो या स्टॉक मार्केट, जाना तो ऊपर ही है. And one final word, which is not concerned with stock market, but this is my personal study. आपको follow करना जरूरी नहीं है, but there is another asset class which is emerging. It is pretty young, but if you can invest, try and invest small amount in Bitcoin. Trust me, हो सकता है आपका पैसा जीरो हो जाए, पर हो सकता है आज से 30-40 साल बाद आप मुझे याद करो कि डॉक्टर कालिया ने बोला था invest in Bitcoin. I am not asking you to invest in crypto. Understand, Bitcoin is a whole different thing than generalized crypto market. 1998 में $20 से इतना मिलता था और बिटकॉइन से कुछ नहीं मिलता था. 2021 में you can buy the most advanced car from the Bitcoin and $20 is giving you nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishal. Except for this last slide, everything else what we discussed was very pertinent to the today's plan of action. One point I would like to add to Vishal's statement and presentation. जब स्टॉक मार्केट में सब लाल दिखने लगता है तो हम देखना बंद कर देते हैं. जब ग्रीन दिखता है तो हम बार बार देखते हैं. एक्चुअली उल्टा होना चाहिए, because when it is falling, that market is falling, that is the time to invest. And you should develop that courage to go through the market when it is falling, because that is the time to invest. So you keep some spare money to looking for that particular time where you can invest. The recent example is that Adani crash. So those who invested during the Adani crash, they have like gained a lot. So second point which I want to make or ask you rather, as we all know, like India is a very rapidly growing economy. And there's a lot of, like I mentioned in the chat also, a lot of manufacturing is going on, infrastructure, export, and so on, make in India. All these things will go on for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So what are the three sectors which you think are the best sectors for investing? Maybe mutual fund or stock market?
So next big thing to come will be electrical cars and electrical automobiles. जो भी electrical mobility में invest stocks हैं, you should go for that. Second is green energy. Yeah, Sandeep Sahu ने लिखा है green energy, EVs and AI.
Yeah.
So he has summed it really well. These are the three sectors you should look for. And my personal favorite for electrical vehicles is Tata Motors. Not a financial advice again, but you should look at that stock. It is the world leader in electrical car manufacturing, other than Tesla.
As you said, you should invest rather than trade. And intraday trading is something which should be like not encouraged for those people who are learning. And it is very addictive also, a lot of time consuming, and you get small profit, big losses, something like that. So believe in long-term investment rather than intraday everyday trading.
Absolutely.
Same thing. And dividend is tax-free. As you said, mentioned about dividend, as far as I know, dividend is tax-free. No?
It is not now.
Okay, fine.
It is not now.
It was tax-free, now it is no more.
Okay. One last question. We keep on, like those who are learning stock market and stock investment, like me, I read certain articles, like certain people recommend certain stocks. So who are reliable people whose article you should read very often and you can follow them?
My favorite is Saurabh Mukherjee,
Okay.
and I don't follow anybody else.
No, you need not follow, but just like they are informative.
सबसे अच्छा जो बात करता है ना वो सौरभ मुखर्जी है, मार्सेलस इन्वेस्टमेंट.
Amit, would you like to generate some question or respond?
Sir, sir, regarding the last slide of Kalia, sir. Sir, I was lucky to be in Kerala in 2011 and 12, sir. So there was a lot of Bitcoin there at that time, and I was a decent investor in Bitcoin. We should not outrightly, outcast them. They are not a legal tender in India, accepted, but India has not banned it.
Yes.
My point is only that is not, मतलब उसको सिर्फ एकदम outrightly अलग मत कर दीजिए. Bitcoin से अगर आप एक UCNA आती है, Urological Clinics of North America, उसको भी आप सब्सक्रिप्शन Bitcoin से ले सकते हैं. तो हम उसको ऐसे नकारात्मक नहीं देखें. मैं ये नहीं बोलता कि हाँ ठीक है उसकी कोई इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू नहीं होती, आई एग्री, लेकिन उसके बारे में अगर आप एक बिटट्रैक्स पे या किसी पे अकाउंट खोल सकते हैं तो खोलना चाहिए. आप बिटकॉइन नहीं ले सकते, कुछ बिट्स लेके देखिए, एक्सपेरिमेंट करिए. मेरा ये पर्सनल ओपिनियन है, मैं किसी को रिकमेंड नहीं करता. मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करता रहा हूँ और करता हूँ भी, बट हम उसको एकदम वो मत कर दें सर कि अब बिल्कुल बेकार है, कोई कुछ नहीं करना.
एक्चुअली हिस्ट्री में ना जिस चीज को आउटराइट नकारा गया है ना, एक्चुअली वो अल्टीमेटली बहुत अच्छी निकली है, इंक्लूडिंग इंटरनेट. 1999 में इंटरनेट वाज लाइक, जितने भी एलीट थे, जितने भी लोग थे, वो ये बोलते थे कि इट्स अ फैड, इट विल गो अवे. लेकिन किसी चीज के अंदर अगर एक कोई इनहेरेंट वैल्यू है, इनहेरेंट उसका कोई एक अपील है ना, it should always be, don't buy it, just follow it. देखो तो वो क्या है. It's a very interesting thing. It's a whole new domain. If you have time, just spend 10-15 minutes on studying these blockchains. मैं क्रिप्टो नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं blockchain बोल रहा हूँ.
अब मुझे लगता है इस पर एक सेशन करना पड़ेगा.
एक ही प्रॉब्लम है सर बिटकॉइन का कि द मार्केट इज ओपन 24 hours.
Yes. So now we will not deviate from our path, and I respect your opinion about Bitcoin. Before we close on to the session, hand it over to the secretary, Dr. Sanjay Yadav. I would like to take two comments on this particular session. As I see that a lot of good friends of mine have joined here. Apart from that, there are a few stalwarts also joined in this meeting, and we are very lucky to have them. I would like to invite Dr. Monica Singh and Dr. Abhyakt Agarwal to give their a few line comments on this particular session. Dr. Monica Singh, ma'am, please. She is a very renowned infertility and IVF specialist from Bhopal and known nationwide, and she is very active and dynamic in her field. Ma'am, please.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Vikesh. I just by chance saw your Facebook post about this important meeting, though it is not my cup of tea at all. And I must admit that Randhir, my husband, he is not disclosing, he has no financial disclosures for me, I'm totally treated as a housewife. So I don't know anything about investment, what's going on, what is building, how much we are spending. So I don't know anything. So I just try to update myself, and it's my now, like after 50 years of age, I want to do my own investment. Not that because I'm insecure, but I feel that apart from practice, we should have some sort of security because we are private practitioners, some sort of security. So I want women to join in. I want like more doctors from doctors. I think we spend so much time studying and setting up our practice or in a job or going abroad and coming back to India that we lose a lot of time. So by the time we come to our senses, we are already 45 plus. So I think I know the least in this group. Means I must be the even pre-nursery in this group. So I'm very happy for this webinar, and I'll surely follow up all your further, talks. Thank you.
That was the objective of inviting you, ma'am, that you are taking interest. That is the most important, was the purpose of this webinar. And similarly, Dr. Pallavi Dubey is there, and she seems to be quite knowledgeable about this thing. I compliment you, Pallavi, for your very good comments in the chat. Thank you, Pallavi.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Avyakt Agarwal, please. I know he doesn't need any introduction. He's my batchmate. He's a very, he has a lot of lateral thinking, and he's a very good analytical mind. Whatever topic he goes through, he analyzes it thoroughly. So I would like to know about his experience of this webinar and about financial investment.
Hi, Vikesh, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. First of all, it was a wonderful idea to have doctors for this kind of financial presentations and by doctors themselves. And I am really new into this stock picking. Like just 4-5 months back, I have started it. Before that, I used to pick up mutual funds. As far as this presentation is concerned, all three were excellent. And I think that doctors can be excellent, very good investors. Why? Because one, their profession gives them enough amount of cash flow, one. And second thing is, which is required in this share market is analytical capabilities. Objectively, you have to analyze and you have to take decisions according to that. Many people think that it's a matter of luck, but I think share market is purely a game of wonderful analytical capabilities along with little bit of luck. Luck is obviously something because if absolutely untoward happens in country or something like that, then it's different thing. But mostly when you are picking up, when you are selling, which stock you are picking up, all these things depend upon few symptoms and signs. Like we make diagnosis, we can pick up right stock based upon, like Vishal said, those P ratio, and then a few other indicators are there. So we can take those indicators into consideration and we can pick up right stock. And as in the presentation, they said about large cap, small cap, mid cap. All three are having different pros and cons. I think according to their own interest and strategy, one may pick up. Thank you.
So I'm very sure Avyakt has such a remarkable ability to learn new things very quickly. Maybe like by next year onward, we will be on your side and you will be on this side of the forum. So thank you very much, my co-speakers, Dr. Vishal Kalia, Dr. Amit Gaur. And now I'll hand over to the organizer, like the person who has brought up this idea of starting webinars on various topics under the forum of Jabalpur Surgeons Association, our secretary, Dr. Sanjay Yadav, for vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vishal sir, and thank you, Amit sir. To say that your talks were eye-opener will be least that we can say, because as everyone rightly said that doctors are not well versed with these things. I am going to be around 36 years next month, and I never knew about these things. I started investing only 6 months ago, and I have been earning since the age of 24 years. After I joined my postgraduate, so I have been getting good salary since then, but I never knew. So I did not have any investment. And so I know, so this 10 years, I have lost it totally. So I think I have learned a lot, and similarly, many young surgeons who are doing their residency will be, must have learned a lot. So I thank you, all three of you, for this excellent guidelines. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, all the participants. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.